Okay, so I think we're live. It is, hold on a second, let me get rid of this here. It is 10 past 9, so I'm a little late. Sorry, guys. And it's 8 2025, so it's already June. We got a lot of people in here already. We've got Mustang 65. Good to see Mustang in here. How's it going? Jocelyn's in here. Hey, Jocelyn, how are you? Good to see you. We got Heather in the house. Heather's here. We also have Heather's GoFundMe page scrolling across the bottom here. Hope Heather's doing well. It's always good to see Heather here. Good sweet dude Shibby's here. Good to see our pal Sweet Dude here. How are you? Good to see you. Who else? I think that's it for now. I'm going to go over the true crime stories of the week. And also going to touch on the Tropics a little bit since I've been late with doing that. Other than that, Barbara Hall's here. Miss Barbara. Hey, Barbara, how are you? Good to see you. Miss Barbara Hall's in the house. It's always good to see Barbara here. I touched on that a little bit. I'll go check that out if I have time for that in Los Angeles. Other than that, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a good week. And that's it. We'll get going here. You're doing okay, Heather? Hope you are. Hope you're better today than you were a couple of days ago. Anyways, let me play my intro, and I'll be back shortly. Then we'll get going on everything that was in the 90s. Justice for Timmy D's for sure. Absolutely. It's good to see Barbara in here as well. Always good to see Barbara in the house. So let me play my intro. I got a new one here. Hope you guys like it. Let me see if I can play that here. Hold on 1 second. And I will be not vomiting today. Well, that's good. That's good news. Awesome. All right. So let me play my intro and I'll be right back. Good to see you guys. Okay, so that's the end of that. It's good to see everybody. Like I said, I'm glad you're feeling better, Heather. Always good to see Heather here in the chat. Like I said, I got her GoFundMe website here. Scrolling across the bottom. Let me see if I can get everything scrolling here. Hold on 1 second here. Let's see if that plays everything. Anyways, it's good to see everybody. Hold on a second. Let me get back to my comments here. Yes, you and I are the only two males here because we know that Mustang's not a male now. And it's too funny. Oh, I'm pretty sure Mino Dino will be here soon at some point. Hopefully, anyways. And I'm pretty sure we'll see Charlie Manson in the chat tonight at some point. Hopefully, anyways. All right, so I want to do one thing here. Hold on 1 second. I want to play this here. This is going to tie in pretty quickly with what is going on. So this is what I had to deal with last night. We've been getting a lot. Hey, Lisa Joe's here too. It's always good to see Miss Barbara in the house. Miss Barbara's awesome. Everybody's awesome. Honeybee's here too. Honeybee's here. It's always good to see Honeybee here in the chat. Like I said, if you guys got channels, I know Barbara Hall's got channel. Honeybee's definitely got a channel. Jocelyn's got a channel. If you guys want, throw your channels in the chat. If you want, but let me play this here. This is what I was dealing with last night. It's been raining here. I think May was like the third wettest May on record here. But last night, just terrible flooding everywhere. So this happened this was last night early this morning here, and these crews were out everywhere. I feel bad for them. They had to do all of this shit in the rain last night, but this is what I had to deal with. So this is coming from I believe Hillsborough, Antrim, and Henniker, and some other parts too. But here we go.
With that amount of rain and such short of
several New Hampshire communities playing catch-up Saturday after rain Friday night caused some serious floods and damage to roads.
The ground really can't absorb any more water.
Streets in places like Henniker, Hillsborough, and Antrim covered in so much washed up debris.
So this is in the dark. You can't see this shit on the roads where just gets underneath the pavement here. Just I mean, if you're going at a pretty good clip here, you won't see this. So the crews were out last night, all night long, trying to at least put up something so that motorists wouldn't drive over this shit here. And it was a pretty rough go.
Debris that the Antrim fire chief says the aftermath of this storm looks a bit familiar.
This is almost about the same type of.
Do I know about this case? St. Louis Jane Doe case? It's been awful. It's been a terrible wash. We lost power here for a little bit this morning, early into the afternoon. But it's supposed to be sunny today, and it's going to rain again on Tuesday. So,
Event that we suffered in 2023.
So he says crews there knew what to expect.
Just so you know.
I just look at all this, like the rain, the trees are loving this, but the ground not so much. But once you get water running here in New Hampshire, it's really hard to stop it. So these roads just flood out.
A lot of washing out on the edges of the pavement.
What to tackle first?
I'm just trying to make the roads passable enough for residents to travel safely.
And what they need from people in town in order to do that.
If they can stay off our.
It's Dee Dee's in the house. Dirty Diana's here. 1983, she was a child found in an abandoned building. Really sad case. Do I know that case, though? Do I know? If you want to, I can take a look at it. Dirty Diana's here. Awesome channel. I was there yesterday morning. Awesome live chats there. She's great. Everyone knows the case. I don't know the case. How the hell do I not know these cases? There were a lot of flash flood warnings. Yep. Luis Cuevas is in here. Hey, Luis, how are you? Good to see you. If you put that in the chat, I'll try to look at it. All right, so let's get back to this here.
Secondary roads for the time being would be appreciated.
Because even if you're all caught up to speed on everything a New England spring can bring.
So I've lived here about 24 years.
You should also know nothing is off limits.
I'm surprised. I really didn't expect this much damage, even though it was pouring.
So officials say it's a bit hard to really.
I almost hit 3 of my birds last night too, because they love going out in this stuff. African American girl, she was decapitated. You know it. If you look, I bet you know it. Oh, maybe it's just my old age here. Maybe I'm just having a hard time remembering this shit. All right, I'll look into that for sure. Good to see you though, Lisa Joe. Good to see Luis Cuevas in here. Sweet Tube Shibby really wants to see these riots. Okay, thank you, Lisa Joe. Thank you for putting that in there. It's probably my old age.
Nailed down a timeline for when roads like this and all this washed up debris can really be taken care of. But in places like Antrim, where we were earlier today, the DPW director told me their permanent repairs are going to be starting tomorrow morning into Monday morning. We're live in Hillsborough. Tonight, Imani Fleming, WMUR News 9.
So that's that. I just wanted to give everybody a shot. Let's take a look at this since Shibby wants to look at this. This is live here. Let's do this here. Hold on 1 second here.
Yes, I do. I'm back. Yes.
In your moments, they can get you.
Yes, I hear them. Yeah.
There's really nothing going on. It's just a whole bunch of people just standing around. Thank you, Mustang. Carol's here. Good to see Carol. Shower and then I'll chat from my computer. LOL, I've been super lazy today. Yeah, you look tired this morning. Then again, everybody probably looks tired. Dave found a live stream with multiple cams. There's one with 6 feeds running. Hold on a second. I'm going to show everybody something here. See this shit right here? It's, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, the vitamin water shit. I'm addicted to these things now. I've checked CNN. You're going to bed? Always. I hope you have a good week. Honeybee's got a great channel. Portland Andy live stream. Yeah, I know. Agenda Free TV does a lot of this stuff too. I just don't like to get involved in the politics at all. But these guys are just, I don't know, they're just standing around. Anyways, Honeybee's got a great channel. Please go over there and subscribe to her channel. She does great stuff, great work. No lame stream, watch regular people. All right, so we'll keep this on. I'm going to find something else to go to here. Hold on one second here. Thank you, Heather. Appreciate that. Yep. Honeybee's got a great. Honeybee's awesome. She does. I know Barbara Hall's got a channel 2. They're shooting rubber bullets, flashbangs, cars on fire. That sounds like Detroit. All right. So until hold on a second, we'll get out of this thing here. Let me stop this. Let me get rid of my face here. All right, so let's do this one here. I want to go to this case here because this is oops, I saw this today too. This is a crazy thing here. So this happened about 10 hours ago. This is a new thing that Law and Crime's doing here. A woman named Joy Marie Pelzer unalived Rosalind Renee Lewis 30 times. Well, she didn't unalive her. She kind of, took a knife to her 30 times at a motel near Atlanta, leading to a high-speed police chase and gunfight where officers had to shoot back. This woman here is the attacker. And it later found out, probably through DNA testing or whatever, that she's also involved in another unaliving back in 2021. So here's this here. I'll take a look at this.
Who did this? Shanice? Who? Joyce? Okay.
That victim, with her dying breaths, telling police the person who would be her killer. This is what happened after the murderer tried to escape. She crashed into a wall and then pulled a gun on officers who had to fire back. Then another massive shocker in this story. This woman
here is lucky to be alive because they had to shoot back at her.
didn't just kill once. She's the person responsible for a decade-old cold case. So the stakes are high. This is Copcast. I'm Chris Stewart. We have a lot to unpack on this story because we just received new body camera video from a case that happened just outside of Atlanta in the suburb of Conyers, Georgia. It all begins when police were called to a Motel 6 for the report of a woman who had been stabbed. This is what one of the first responding officers saw.
Okay, where is she? Right here, ma'am.
598 radio. Go ahead. I'm gonna need
All over, I don't know where.
98 radio. You gotta start me EMS. They can come in. She's bleeding profusely from the abdomen. I see the knife.
The knife on the floor.
I see it.
Police found Rosalind Renee Lewis on the ground of a motel room. She had been stabbed 30 times. Now, we're blurring a lot of what the officer saw in this body camera video. There was a lot of blood at the scene. Lewis, as she is fighting to stay alive, musters up the strength to answer a key question for law enforcement.
Hey, Roz. Roz. Who did this? Shanice? Who?
Also, we did a case last week. Remember, Zaddy's here. You knew Zaddy's here. Good to see you, buddy. Doodlebug's here. Where's Doodlebug? Doodlebug's here right there. Yes, and there's also another one. There's also the Amber Alert. We're going to go over that, too, at some point tonight. That Arctic True Fox has on his channel to the Amber Alert thing. We need to. All right, buddy. But Doodlebug's here too. Doodlebug is awesome. She's got a great channel, great lives, awesome stuff. What else was I going to say? I broke into this because I wanted to let people know we did a case about, I think it was Alyssa Petrov last week. Remember, she was missing. They found her. So I might get into a little bit of that too, but I just want to let everybody know. I think I did a community post on that too. They found her safe, so she's good. She just apparently just ran away. But we'll get into that. Dude, this case right here is really wacky.
Joyce? Okay, Roz, listen to me. You've got to hold still for me, okay, sweetie, until I can get some help here, okay?
Thank you, Heather, again. Doodlebug's channel's here. Like I said, if you guys got channels, I know your new Zaddy's got a channel, so feel free to throw that into chat, because I think everybody's got a wrench now, so everybody could do that. Southern Gal has got a great channel, too. I hope she's okay, too. I was on her live. I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Southern Gal's awesome. She's got a great channel.
You heard her say Joyce. Joyce is Joyce Marie Pelzer. She was the wife of the woman you just saw fighting for her life at the motel, a woman who had passed away when she would get to the hospital. Pelzer ran from the scene. Police tried to find clues at that motel, and the maintenance worker was one of the witnesses.
Then when I finished putting the mirror up, when I came out, that was the lady walking by, full of blood everywhere, with the knife on the hand.
all of these content creators. We got some really good ones here in the chat. We got Barbara Hall, Paula Fitzhenry, Your News Addy, Doodlebug, Honeybee. I think left, but Honeybee's got a great channel too. Dirty Diana's got a great channel, so it's good to get these channels some spotlights here, especially if it's Tracy Fleetwood's here too. Good to see you, Tracy. I like to try to promote these channels as much as I can. Of course, a lot of channels don't want to be promoted, but thank you, True Crime Web too. I don't know what's going on with Steve. I haven't seen Steve for a while. Hopefully, he's okay. I'm pretty sure he is. He's probably taking a break. But thank you guys for throwing those in here. Missing person Monday. Yes, she did. Missing person Monday was last Monday, but I think she did it on Tuesday instead. Was Farmer. Derek Farmer's got a good channel. All right, hold on, let's go here. And Adrian, of course. Adrian's great.
You say once you finished it up, you went outside, then you saw the lady.
I came outside the room. And I saw the lady walking by with full of blood everywhere. And she had a knife on the head. Where were you? Right hand.
Okay, thank you, Mustang. Thank you for that. Has he posted any lives lately? I haven't seen any of the lives from him. I'm sure he's fine. Mr. Steve is awesome.
What building? How do y'all name? This is the first building. The second building is.
She was holding a knife in her right hand.
And the building where I was at, the third building, 149.
Okay. She a white female, black female?
Black female.
Black female?
Yeah. He said building 149, that's when the male came out of room 61. He was like, hey. Somebody like, 149, that's where I'm doing my garbage. That's when my boss called and told James about it.
Okay, so you saw her holding the knife in her hand, and now where did she go after that?
She was that away.
Okay, all right. So you were at 120 is, which side is 120?
This side.
Second?
This side.
Okay. So 120 is up there?
Yeah.
And she was walking that way?
That way. Straight.
Hi, Anna Lisette. Good to see you. Steve is fine. He's been very, very busy. Well, that means that Mrs. Steve's been very, very busy too then. Good to see you, Anna. Good to see you in the chat. Yes, I've talked to Mr. Steve. Okay, good. Good. Very good. That's good news.
3 days later, police found Pelzer and they tried to pull her over, but she led officers on a high-speed chase.
I think this is in Georgia. I'm not sure. This highway looks familiar here. They feel like these cars, like the Sentras here, are going to outrun these state cops. Just doesn't make any sense to me. But good luck. Who else is here? Beasley's here. Good to see you, Beasley. There you are, right there. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Good to see Anna Lisette in here. Haven't seen you for a while, but good to see you for sure. Just watching this case about this. Apparently, this person here that they're chasing unalived her wife, and then they found out that she's being confused for a cold case of Shondell McLeod. I think that's the name. You'll see this guy's going to do a pit maneuver on her right in this area here, and she's going to go flailing this way into the New Jersey barriers here. There she goes. Miss K's here. Good to see Miss K. Where is she? I think she's the only person that actually calls me David. My ex-wife used to call me David. Good to see you, Miss K. Yeah, everybody was exhausted last, and I was pretty awake this morning because I had to be. It was bad, but calmed down now. If it gets any worse than that, let me know. So she had a pew-pew here, and she started firing at the cops here, and they ended up having to fire back. But she made it. I don't know how that happened.
I'm freezing the video at this point because that is when Pelzer gets into a gunfight with police who have to fire back, striking her multiple times. Officers then pull Pelzer from the car and they try to treat her. She's rushed to a hospital where she survives. And I'll get more into what she had to say in just a moment. But a big part of this story.
That's too funny. No, I don't think so. David's good. I prefer Dave, but David's good. Miss K may be your ex-wife. I don't know. That's not possible. She's lucky to be alive. Maybe that's what she wanted, though. Yeah, who knows? Danger Dave. Yeah, Danger Dave works. Anything works, but late for supper, I guess. I don't know. This is too funny.
Is looking at the history involving Rosalind Renee Lewis and the help that she tried to get from law enforcement before she was murdered.
So this is the person here that got unalived. This is the spouse of the woman that we just saw, crash into that barrier there.
My wife is here in town. She threatened me a few weeks back here.
Your wife?
Yes, my wife.
Okay. So you got other things like that? Do the one.
Yeah,
that's
outside and die. Yeah, because it's some stuff going
on. It's Miranda. Miranda's here. Good to see you, Miranda. Thank you for that, Dee Dee. Thank you for putting that up there. I'll try to put that in here, into this ticker here. Hold on, give me a second here. There, I think that'll work. All right, so Miranda, we're just going over this case. I've seen a lot of wheelchair-bound guys and some that have been, yeah, for sure. We're going to go over that case too, because your business was in the news this week too, so we're going to go over that. Both her and Lori Daybell, I think, were wheeled into court this week.
In Atlanta with my wife. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know, you're fine, babe. Okay. A few months ago, I left my wife. She was cheating.
So she came in to get some help because she was her wife was in town and threatened to unalive her, and so she went to the police to get some help with that, and apparently they didn't help her at all.
Long story short, I left, turned off everything, and the woman that she was involved with said that when I turned everything off, went ballistic and saying how much she hated me. She knock me off and kill me and all this other.
That's Lois going to a police station, telling an officer about the threats that she said her wife, Pelzer, had made.
Okay, long story short, I've been here taking care of my father. He's sick in the hospital, and she knew that I had came here because before I left, she knew I was back and forth coming down here, what have you.
There's a few people that I wish I didn't have to hear anything about ever again. One is Karen Reed, and the next is Lori Daybell. I mean, you can't ever. I was watching it for a little while, and then it kind of subsided it again, and then we were just watching it a little bit. But if it builds up again, we'll go to that live. But yeah, Carried and Lori Daybell. I would hope we didn't have to hear from those people ever again.
And
but I think Lori Daybell's got a whole bunch of cases still to get through. I know he was sentenced to unalive, right? He got the death penalty.
what happened was, probably a couple weeks, maybe a month ago, I was here, and I went to Boulevard, and I talked to her, and I was like, no, you don't. You know, I haven't been seeing you, we don't need to see each other. Needless to say, she wound up coming down anyway, and she went.
Where the hell is Dino?
Went to Boulevard, and I had already left, and that was about 2:30 in the morning. And she called, she said, hey, I'm here at the.
We missed Heather last week for sure. Everybody was asking about you in here, especially me. But I'm pretty sure you had other things to do. But it's good to see you this week, Heather.
I said, no, where are you? What room are you in? I said, well, I'm not there anymore. I said, I'm at my parents' house. And she was like, oh my God, I'm tired. I'm so tired. You know, can I just come there and rest till in the morning, and I'll leave before your father gets up? And I was like, I was kind of hesitant, but I still went on and gave her the address. And so she came down. She got back here about 4 o'clock. She got here. We talked for a minute. She was saying how much she was sorry, how she wanted to make things work with the marriage, what have you, what have you. I said, no, how about just go to sleep because I'm tired of talking, all this other. I laid down on the sofa because I have a sofa in one of the bedrooms. And I guess when I went to sleep, she
is such a actor. She's a bad actor too. Taylor Business. She's just she's doing it for spite for sure.
She went through my bags and she stole my passport. I guess to keep me from going out of the country, what have you, because I had planned a trip that I was taking. And that next morning when she got up and I was up, she was talking again, and I was like, Georgia, the marriage is over. And she jumped up and she said, so she had her hand behind her back, she said, do you know I could kill you and your family right now? And when was that? When did she say that? That was when, probably, I don't even think it's been a month. Probably 3 weeks ago, because I've been so much back and forth here. I think it was about 3 weeks ago, because I've been back and forth from here to Atlanta so much, I forget in the weeks, I think it's about 3 weeks ago. And I told her, I said, if you decide to shoot me, you make sure my dead. Make sure I have no breath left in my body, because if you don't, I will get you back. I said, how do you come to my parents' house and threaten me? My parents and my father's in the hospital bed, can barely get up. And you're going to threaten me? I said, get the out of my house. Get out, right now. Get out. So she left, went outside, did something in the car. I don't know what she was doing out there. And that was the last time that I personally saw her. Now she's been calling, blowing my phone up. You know, I need to talk. Urgent all the time.
It's apparent that these people didn't do anything at all.
Well, I guess now it's her ex-girlfriend, because the woman don't mess with her anymore. Called me and said that Joyce is in town, and she says that she's gonna kill you. Okay, so you got that from I talked to the detective in Atlanta. She was sitting outside around the corner from my parents' house, and when I backed into the driveway, she started up her car and was coming to the house, and I pulled out. And that's when I called him, and he called the detective that came. Okay. Because now she's threatening me. You know, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I have too much other going on than there was some behind that I left you. Get over it at this point. Really get over it.
Detective, what
yes.
prompted you to call the detective in Atlanta?
She has something going on in Atlanta with a missing person from some years ago. And in talking to my wife's ex-girlfriend, this her ex-girlfriend, she told me that the detective had reached out to her and she had talked to him, and I was like, do you have his number? Because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Because I know the girl that's missing had a restraining order on Joyce. So I wanted to call him and say, hey, you know, what steps do I need to take to get another restraining order? And this is what's going on, because I don't know what the hell happened with the woman. I have no clue. Lord knows, I hope she's okay. But at this point, I don't know, because that's been 6-7 years ago, I guess. I'm not even sure how long it's been. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that's why I reached out to him, because that was the only detective that I knew that knew Joy.
Okay. So that detective in turn got in touch with a homicide detective here?
I'm assuming, I don't know who he got in touch with. I don't know.
So how did you get in contact with, how did you make contact with the detective?
Through the Georgia detective.
Okay. And then what?
Then they brought me here. They told me they wanted me to come here and follow and do a phone claim, what have you.
Right, this is a domestic issue with a threat on her life. This is going to have to be handled by an officer on the street, because they're going to have to put out a warrant. Let me talk to my supervisor.
Just days after the conversation you just watched, Rosalind Lewis would be stabbed by the woman who she tried to warn the authorities about.
They did absolutely nothing. This is what happens. They did absolutely nothing. And unfortunately, this person here got unalived.
Now, that woman, Joyce Pelzer, would be rushed to the hospital after her shootout with police and that high-speed chase. Eventually, she had recovered enough to sit and talk to a detective.
Joyce, have you had anything to drink this morning?
Some people are freaking crazy, man. Just literally crazy.
Are you warm enough? I know it was cold walk over. Can you hear me okay? Here, I'm going to turn you so I can talk to you on your right side of the head, okay? The good side. Are you warm enough now? Okay. Have you had anything to drink this morning? Water? Do you want some water? Okay. Thank you. Alright. Well, when you're ready, here's some water. Are you hurting at all this morning? Are you in pain?
It looks like she's almost dead.
You sound like a robot.
Okay, but you can hear something.
And I sound like one to me too. I can't really see you so good.
Okay.
And I can't hear you too good.
Okay.
But I know you're trying to talk. But I don't understand.
Okay. Well, I can hear you good, so that's good. I want to make sure you're comfortable, though. Are you warm enough?
I just don't understand. I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't even understand what I'm saying because I sound so weird to myself.
Okay.
I don't sound like myself.
Well, I can understand you, so you're speaking very well, so that's good. You're speaking very well, very clear, so that's good. I can hear you.
It's Mandy, good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for coming in. As Tiki Boat Ride, what's that like? Good to see you in the chat for sure. We'll play a little bit more of this and then we'll move on to another case.
Do I sound weird to you?
No, you sound okay. I mean, I've never talked to you before, so I'm not sure how you're supposed to sound.
Do I sound normal?
Yeah, I think so.
I sound like a robot.
That's okay. Why you got a tear coming down your face? Are your eyes hurting at all?
Huh?
Your eyes hurting at all? Can you see me okay?
They doing what?
What, you had a tear running down. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. See, there goes another one. What is it that hurts?
Huh?
What is it that hurts? Are you in pain?
What?
Yeah, like up here.
All up there in my legs.
What's wrong with your legs?
In my legs.
Okay.
It hurt.
Really?
You can hear the investigator just trying to get any answer she could out of Pelzer.
Can you read this? Look, you can read. Okay. So I'm going to read this along with you, and you can follow along. Okay. So this is a statement of your Miranda rights. All right. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used as evidence against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you without cost. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. So these are a waiver of your rights. Understanding these rights, are you willing to talk to me today?
Okay.
Okay. I know it's kind of, are you right-handed or left-handed?
I am right.
Okay. So you are right-handed?
So what they say?
Just saying yes, that you're willing to talk, that you want to talk to me.
That I want to wave?
No, that you want to talk to me.
That I want to talk to you?
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to remain silent. I don't want to give up my rights.
Okay. All right. Well, so we went through them, and you said you do want to talk.
I wish I could.
You can hear me? Sometimes you can hear me. Sometimes you can hear me. You've been responding. And you said you did want to talk.
So bad.
Okay. So do you want to talk, or do you want to think about it?
What year is it? 1940. Close enough. Sign year. That's funny. To deal with these people every single day of your life is going to be annoying.
For a minute.
Do I need who?
Do you want to talk to me today?
And you said give up my rights?
If you do want to talk to me without an attorney present, then I would like for you to sign just saying yes, you'll talk to me today. But that is your decision.
Without a who?
Without an attorney, without a lawyer present?
Yeah, I don't have one right now.
Okay. Do you want to talk to me without one?
Are you an attorney?
No, ma'am. I'm the police. I'm Conyers Police.
You Conyers?
Yeah. I'm an investigator.
Deputy.
Well, investigator with the police department.
So you said I'm here because I had warrants?
Yes.
Here in Conyers?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Do you understand what happened? Do you understand what your warrants are for? The warrants, do you understand what they are for?
A standing who warrant?
Do you understand what your warrants are?
A standing?
No.
You got to have, I mean, you literally have to have a lot of patience for this.
You know what your warrants are?
Do I know what it's on?
What the warrants are for?
No. How many of them?
You got two. You got two warrants.
2 warrants.
Yes. One for aggravated assault.
Okay.
And one for murder.
And murder for who?
I think you know who, but
Okay, so Mandy needs a wrench. I'll get her a wrench. Got to get some sleep. Who's hasn't slept? Yeah, I would have had to. I would have told her, look, we'll do this another day. Apparently,
I need you to let me know.
I think some of it is a little acting, don't you think? I mean, some of it. I mean, she got shot by police, so I'm sure some of it isn't, but some of it's acting, no doubt.
If you want to talk.
So,
Do you want to talk? Yes? Do you want to waive your right to have an attorney present? You want to think about it? I'm going to let you sit here and drink some water, okay?
yes, ma'am.
You want to think about it? Okay.
A few minutes later, the investigator comes back.
All right, Joyce? You okay? Did you get any sleep last night? Not really.
Hip in my head hurt.
I bet laying on that floor. Laying on that floor hurts, I'm sure. So, hey, I gave you time.
I think I need to get an attorney. You talking about murder? I ain't killed nobody.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's includes our interview, okay?
It's unclear how much Pelzer was truly impaired in that moment from her injuries or if she was playing the role of not knowing what police were saying. Pelzer pleaded guilty in 2021 to malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault for Lewis's murder at the motel. But this story isn't done. The case then took a turn 2 years later. It turns out Pelzer was linked to a case that had gone cold since 2011. That was for the kidnapping and murder of a woman named Shondell McLeod. McLeod had been in an abusive relationship with Pelzer that had ended. According to a news release from the DeKalb County District Attorney, Pelzer's new girlfriend came forward in 2017 and she revealed, quote, that McLeod's murder had been planned over 2 to 3 months and that Pelzer's wife, Rosalind Lewis.
I mean, I think she part of it is because of you know, she's probably not feeling all that good, but part of it is just that you know, so these people sometimes not saying these people, but they just don't they don't cooperate and they'll do anything they have to do to but anyway, she asked for a lawyer, so that's the end of that conversation. I would have said that first thing. Never talk to cops without a lawyer, ever. All right, so we'll get out of this here. I do want to go to this case here because this has been going on all over the place. Hold on a second. It's just tough to talk to these people sometimes because they're doing whatever they have to do to get. But these interrogations can be a little bit better, I think. All right, so this case, I don't know if you guys have seen anything about this. It's going to be disturbing. This guy's now, who knows where he is? I think they got him in the hills there. Multiple agencies, including the FBI and the U.S. Marshals and the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, are working together to track down the man charged with unaliving his 3 young daughters. This is just such a horrible case. Crews are searching from the air and the ground for 32-year-old Travis Decker after the bodies of the 5-year-old, 8-year-old, and 9-year-old were discovered last Monday, I think it was. So this guy's obviously got extensive military and outdoor survival training. But they'll find U.S. Marshals always find them. It just takes a while. But this was done a couple of days ago, and nobody's been following this case. Apparently, this guy has some mental issues. This guy should have never had these children. And I did a community post about this whole Amber Alert thing. And it's just an amazing thing where they just refuse to put these Amber Alerts out, and it's so frustrating because this is one of those things that probably could have been stopped, right? Anyways, here's this.
Fine for a father accused of killing his 3 daughters in Chelan County. Detectives releasing new Ring camera video and photos of Travis Decker. As KOMO's Theron Zahn reports, authorities hope that will increase the chance of a sighting that will lead to his capture.
Finding Decker in the wilderness of central Washington will not be an easy job, but hundreds of volunteers say they're not going to stop until they get justice for his 3 girls he's accused of killing. New Ring video shows what investigators say is the last record of Travis Decker before his 3 young daughters were killed. Police are also giving out these new pictures of him. They want the public to get a good look, so if they spot him, they can call 911.
All right, sorry, I forgot. Hold on one second. Let me hold on a second. Okay.
In the air and on the ground, the search continues in the vast wilderness of Chelan County, looking for any trace of the military veteran who has extensive experience in living off the grid, even attending mountain survival school.
He could have scoped out this area before, put supplies out there, and has the ability and the knowledge to survive.
While the search goes on, tributes for his 3 daughters continue to come in, with the tragic case getting attention across the country. We're told Decker's parents are cooperating with the investigation.
This is their son, so of course that they have concerns about his safety, but overall they understand that he does have to be brought in and he has to be held accountable.
Let me know if that worked. I think I just gave Mandy a wrench, so let me know. Look, I agree. This guy's this guy's obviously responsible for this probably, but I don't necessarily just blame him. This guy here should have never had these children. He could be anywhere in here. Who knows? He's probably not even alive.
For his actions.
It's not known if he is in fact in the wilderness right now, but given his survival skills, that is where the strongest assumption is. But again, the call is going out nationwide to be on the lookout for Decker. Reporting in Seattle, Theron Zahn, KOMO News.
Today could be a critical day in the investigation. The victim's autopsy results will come out. That should give deputies a much better understanding of when the girls died and how much of a head start Decker could have. We've posted all of those photos of Decker and that new Ring video on KOMOnews.com. In Wenatchee, a memorial for the Decker girls grows by the day. People visiting and reflecting on the tragic and sudden passing of those 3 sisters. The town is still in shock about what's happened this week.
I was legit hoping that they come home safe. When I found out they no longer here, it's hard. It hurts me. It hurts almost the whole family out in this community.
The community is doing.
This is just so horrible. This is kind of equivalent to, what was the guy's name a couple years ago? Dahmer? Not Dahmer. He unalived his 3 boys. Remember? Doerman. That was in Ohio, I think. But at least he had the nerve to just, stay there. This guy here has definitely got problems. This is just... It's one of those just awful, sad things. Terrible.
Doing what it can now to help support the victim's family. Several local businesses are collecting money and donations in honor of those 3 girls. An online fundraiser has already raised more than $500,000. Stay with KOMO News for continuing coverage of the investigation into the murder.
I think it was Chad Doerman. right? He went to, I think that was last year, or the year before that. He was sitting on the steps with the shotgun, and he made it easy for everybody because I think he just pled guilty. All right, let's play this one here.
My name is Detective Sergeant Joe Eaton with the Wenatchee Police Department. I'm one of the PIOs for the Wenatchee Police Department. Tonight, we're going to have Chelan County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mike Morrison, give you another update on the investigation. For the record, my name is Sergeant Joe Eaton, Joeeaton, and Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison.
JC Hansen here. Hey, JC, good to see you. Chris Watts was another one. Yep. But I think it was Chad Doorman. We covered that case too.
MikeMorrison. Tonight he'll deliver his updates, and then at the conclusion of his update, we'll have about 5 minutes for questions. With that, I'll turn it over to Sheriff Morrison.
Thank you, Sergeant. Try not to disturb anyone's microphones here. Do appreciate everyone coming out. We don't have as much information to provide today, but we have been working tirelessly throughout the day with our federal resources, state resources, neighboring agencies. As always, I'd like to start off just by recognizing the Decker family, let them know they're still very much in our thoughts and our prayers. We've been working hard. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia are clearly a motivating force for us. A lot of our guys are working with sleep deprivation, but their thoughts are always on the girls and making sure that we're staying motivated and getting the results the family expects out of us. So, as we mentioned before, not much to go off of. We have been following leads thanks to the FBI and their analysis team that has been going out, processing social media leads throughout the nation, not just here locally. Following up those leads, we've been assigning detectives, marshal services, representatives to go out and do interviews. We also appreciate the nation police departments. We had one in McCall, Idaho today, was doing follow-ups for us. So we're not just keeping our focus here within Chelan County, we're also focusing nationwide on other leads that are coming out. Again, thank you to those police departments, sheriff's offices, state agencies across the nation that have stepped up to assist us and giving us the additional resources that we...
You and I think alike. I was thinking the same thing. As soon as he said M-I-C-K, I'm like, oh no, come on, don't do that. All right, let's do this here.
We desperately need. Clearly, this is not the outcome we wanted to see. We were hoping that we could find Travis today, but we are feeling optimistic thanks to our Marshals Department that has come through and tracked down some good leads that we feel are giving us more of an insight into Travis's mindset, where he may have not gone or may have gone to. And we'd also like to thank the FBI and their behavioral analysts unit that has also gone.
Put a 1 in the chat or a 2 in the chat if you think this guy's still alive. I got, I don't know, 60% he's probably not alive anymore. Just me.
Gone through, done an assessment of some of the interviews that we've had regarding Travis and made a determination on maybe what his thought process was, what decisions he might have made, and where he'd gone. In addition to our detectives also following through some of the financial documents, tracking areas that he had previously frequented, and we're optimistic that we will find him shortly. We'd also like to thank Spokane County Sheriff's Office for coming out, Sheriff Knowles, having their help.
1 for live and 2 for dead. I think I'm going to go, what did I say? 1 for alive and 2 for dead. 1, 2. 2. There you go. He's probably dead.
Helicopter flight from 6 o'clock this morning to 11, as I understand it. At 11 o'clock, our helicopter was also on ground at the fish hatchery in Leavenworth to fly the Icicle Creek. We also deployed our swiftwater rescue team to go through there and start searching the creek in cases that Travis did enter in there. The water is running pretty quickly now thanks to the spring runoff, but we're optimistic that with our air units up in the sky, looking over the terrain, is definitely diverse when you're talking about the amount of acreage that we're covering. that we're doing the best we can. We also want to thank Sheriff Myers down in Kittitas County for deploying some of his search and rescue units, checking trailheads on the backside of Chelan County to see if there's any opportunity that Travis might have made it out to that location. We have learned so far through our investigation today that he is well versed in outdoor survival. And talking with his father, it sounds at times that he would go out and would be leaving off grid for sometimes up to 2.5 months.
All right, so hold on one second. I want to give people, hold on a second here. This is what we're talking about here. This is Chelan County, Washington, right? Back out a little bit here. This is what we're looking at. I mean, he could be anywhere in here. Who knows? Hey, there's somebody sitting right there. Look at this. There's a dog. I mean, this is, yeah, good luck. So this is where he is. He's anywhere in here, right? And we are right here. This is so cool. So just wanted to give people an idea of where we were here. Pictures here. I mean, if nature doesn't get to him, who knows? But he's got to be taking supplies from somewhere. I think he's probably not with us anymore. This is my opinion. You can only survive there for so long. I don't care how good you are. All right, so I hate to say it, but I'm hoping. Let's go back to the live here. It's beautiful country out there, absolutely.
So we also understand, too, that he at times would do caching. So we understand that that's a possibility that he could have scoped out this area before, put supplies out there, and has the ability and the knowledge to survive for a long period of time. We saw this before a couple years ago when we assisted Kittitas County with a similar case. So we are putting our resources out. We saw our SWAT team today out off the icicle drainage, checking residences through there, in addition to us still having units out on the ground, continuing to check, in addition to expanding out and looking at local counties. So we're going to continue to do what we need to do, partnering with our...
Of course, I said the same thing about the guy that escaped from that Pennsylvania prison last year. I thought he was dead too, but he was still alive. So you never know. If you know what you're doing, you can survive. Maybe he planned ahead. Yeah, I mean, how I don't know. Unless he prepared ahead of time, he could have. But something tells me that this guy here is mentally got a mental problem, mental health issues, and I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Who knows?
Our federal partners, we will again want to say thank you to the FBI, Homeland Security, that has assisted us more yesterday. I'm also going with the Marshal Services.
Yeah, the guy from was he from South America, right? Geocache. It's where you're hidden for hidden things. Search for hidden things based on coordinates. Yep. He may be having flashbacks. He's definitely got some sort of I mean, he's not. They knew that, anyways. That's why I'm saying. I don't know how he got his hands on those children, because we'll read about that a little bit more.
The Washington State Patrol that has been working alongside of us, along with their detective units, and we've also had a forensics electronic detective going through the cell phone and other electronic items that we've collected on the scene. So we're hoping to gather more information, take that intel that we've gathered today, and continue to press on tomorrow. But at this time, we have not found Travis. My message is still the same. Travis, if you're out there seeing us, we'd like you to turn yourself in. We want a peaceful resolution to this, but we're not going to relinquish our...
Yeah, that's the guy, Cavalcante. Yeah, he's definitely got PTSD or something. He's I think he had issues before that.
Our efforts and giving up any effort that we can proceed to track you down. So please turn yourself in. Let's wrap this up and do what's right for your kids. So any questions?
Sir, are you any closer to establishing a motive?
No, and I don't think there'd be any motive that'd be acceptable. I mean, clearly, it's not the decision of a sound mind, and these young girls were a victim.
Was a body discovered in this area searching near Leavenworth today?
They were discovered earlier this week. It was outside Leavenworth. You're more up Icicle Drainage around milepost 18, around Rock Island Campground. And we do have a map that I think we've already shared online, but it is more of a rural campground.
It's just freaking sad. It's awful, terrible.
Okay. No, there was another individual that was located today, not related to the case, and that was out towards the Big Y where US 2 and 97 connect, but not related to the case.
Sheriff, you mentioned McCall, Idaho.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Do what's right for your kids. I mean, this is, I don't know what to tell you. I think this guy thinks too highly of himself here. But I blame the whole system on this. It's not just the guy's fault. It's just like, you know, how he was able to get a hold of those children is beyond me. It just doesn't make any sense. Like Adam Montgomery, the same type of situation. You know, you can't let these people have children. Just, unfortunately, they can't handle it.
No reports of possible sightings, or maybe it was just the fact that the department received tips. Any credibility to some of that? I know you mentioned they did some investigating. What have you learned from that?
I can tell you so far today we had a possible sighting on East Leavenworth Road. We checked that out. It was not Mr. Decker. We had another one out at milepost 83, US 2. And then, of course, we continue to hear information about other possible sightings from across.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Like, how is that even possible? Like, the whole system needs to be changed. I've been saying this forever. It's just, they should just cut the whole system because it doesn't work. We had a guy recently, he was a homeless guy, and the locals looked after him, gave him work. He just turned himself in after 29 years. The locals paid. Yeah. And that's another thing, too. I mean, just getting off the soapbox here, but people just don't take mental health seriously, man. They just don't.
Across the nation, as we understood, based off the information we got back, was that the sighting in McCall, Idaho was not our suspect, but we'll continue to work with our neighboring agencies, not only here in the state, but across the nation, to help us track down any leads we do get.
What kind of head start do you think he had?
I get an idea. Why don't you stop doing some interviews and go find the guy?
Knowing the truck was found Monday, when do you think he started to go out?
Worst case scenario, we could see that he might have gotten a head start on Friday, so he would have had the whole weekend to be out there. But we're still tracking it down. We will have our autopsy results. It should be coming back tomorrow, and we'll get a better idea of what kind of time frame we're looking at.
Is there any knowledge that you guys might have of him possibly making his way back to Wisconsin or he's from?
When it comes to kids, man, I don't know. I just don't know, man. My ex served 20 years in the military and had terrible father. He had PTSD. His truck was hit by an IED. Yeah, I mean, people have serious issues. You know, they're just sometimes not their fault, but you know, some of these people, how they get a hold of children is just I don't know.
We're not ruling anything out. So, I mean, we have been in touch with agencies, of course, across the nation, and just tracking down leads.
And of course, there was no Amber Alert, right? There was just no. Why even have an Amber Alert system if you're not going to use it? That's just my opinion.
We are aware of other connections he has. We've interviewed friends, coworkers. We're optimistic that we can track down his location.
Sir, you left the truck behind. Did you find in that truck any writing, any note?
Our detectives are still going through that process. I know that we worked with the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab yesterday, in addition to our detectives, process all that information. And today, as I was leaving our emergency operations center, we did have members of the Washington State Patrol that were processing some of the cell phones we located in the vehicle.
What military training does he have that could be a factor in his ability to elude authorities?
We do understand, and we're getting more confirmation that he might have possibly gone through mountain survival school, but we also know too that he's been an outdoorsman since he was a kid. Talking with a parent, it seemed like this was something that he was attracted to, like doing in his free time. So clearly some of the knowledge he's probably acquired throughout his lifetime, in addition to the training he might or might not have acquired through the Army, is something that we're taking into consideration. But we do want to validate what trainings he's actually gone through, and we do have some U.S. Marshals tracking that down as well.
Sheriff, what is your reaction?
The mom knew. I'm going to play her interview in a minute. She knew. So, I mean, there's a history behind this.
Been out and about, you said for as long as 2 months. Does that give you room to pause that he is no stranger to being out and living off the grid for so long?
Well, we're certainly an agency that learns from the past. I mean, we saw this before, I believe, around North Bend. I don't know how many years ago that was, where they had an individual who had been involved in a similar incident and then had dug himself a bunker out there. So we take that in consideration that he may be aware of our surroundings, has the ability to survive, and that's going to certainly make it more challenging, but we're up for that challenge. I mean, we recognize that 87% of our county is not accessible by road. We've been dealing with that over the last 125-year history of this agency, so we're no stranger to that. We're aware of our terrain, and we'll continue to work with our federal partners and U.S. Forest Service that has stepped alongside of us to assist us in possibly closing down some of the trails in the area in order to ensure, of course, that the environment stays safe for anyone who may come to visit, but that we also have access to go through there and start checking all the trails and locations that we believe he may recreate.
Sheriff, the longer this goes on, what concerns do you have about, you talk about the fight or flight mentality and desperation kicks in. Obviously there's that survival skills element of it, but the longer it goes on, I mean, we've seen where things often go. Do you have concerns for whether it be those who are out looking for him, but just kind of where this could all come together and that mentality someone may have with desperation motivates him?
We understand the mentality we're dealing with. We have a well-trained agency. We're a leader when it comes to de-escalation here in Washington State. We were one of the original agencies for that training hub, so we understand that we have the ability to control the pace of situations. We have behavioral health units. We have the ability to communicate with him, and we're going to continue to do that. But our primary goal is to track him down. Of course, we want to make sure that he's safe, but ultimately he will be brought to justice.
All right, I'm going to get out of this one here. I do want to play this one here. Hold on a second. Hold on one second here. Okay, this is Ashley Banfield's tape, but this is the interview with the attorney for the mother here.
It's another night on the run for the prime suspect, and so far as we know, the only suspect in the murder of those 3 young sisters in Washington State. If you've been following our coverage,
This was done a day ago. So retired FBI Special Agent Bobby Chacon joins News Nation as the search continues for this guy. The only suspect in the unaliving of 3 daughters. The girls were reportedly found asphyxiated with plastic bags. Oh my God. Former Army Ranger with survival. Their mother, Whitney, says the system failed them. Police issued a missing persons alert instead of an Amber Alert. Missing persons alert, instead of an Amber Alert.
you know that Travis Decker picked up his daughters last Friday for a scheduled custodial visit, but the bodies of those 3 little girls, his 3 little girls, were found on Monday near a campground 40 miles away. Court documents say 9-year-old Peyton Decker, 8-year-old Evelyn Decker, and 5-year-old Olivia Decker had each been asphyxiated with plastic bags that were still over their heads when they were found. Their wrists had been zip-tied.
Unbelievable. It's just, this is going to be triggering, obviously. This is just, right now I just want to punch somebody in the face. This is just, look at these kids. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just absolutely horrible.
Their father's truck, which was found nearby, had 2 bloody handprints on it. And last night on this show, the sheriff leading the manhunt confirmed that those were adult handprints. Today, police put out a photo of Travis Decker from when he was active duty in the military. Reports indicate he was a U.S. Army Ranger, a paratrooper who served in Afghanistan and is highly trained in wilderness evasion and survival. The Army picture shows how different he might look now if he maybe were shaved. Certainly shows the tattoos that you can look for if you're out looking to spot him. Deckard is said to be suffering from complex PTSD and borderline personality disorder. He was married to the little girl's mother, Whitney Decker, for 7 years, and their divorce reportedly was civil. Whitney never fought visitation privileges, but when Travis lost his home and various minimum wage jobs after he left the girls crying unattended at a National Guard armory, he was barred from taking them on overnights. Despite all of that, Whitney says Travis isn't the only one responsible for their daughters' deaths. She says, quote, the system deserves some of the blame too, because police sent out an endangered missing persons advisory instead of an Amber Alert. Whitney Decker's attorney says, and I quote, we may never know if it could have meant the difference between life and death for those girls, but it could have made a huge difference. Whitney believes, as I do, that something broke inside of him. Everything that he had been living with, everything that had been bottled up inside of him for so long, as far as trauma, just won out, end quote. I want to bring in Bobby Chacon. He is a retired FBI special agent with extensive background in high-risk search and arrests. He was part of the manhunt for the Olympic Park bomber, Eric Rudolph, in the mountains of North Carolina. Boy, that went on forever as well. We thought we'd never find him, and he had some survival skills, too.
The riots. Yes, it's terrible. It's just awful. Something though tells me this guy here. There was an issue before the. I'm pretty sure the combat overseas didn't help, but something tells me that this goes way beyond that.
Too, Bobby. First, let me ask you, what are the odds this guy's alive, especially given the heinous and atrocious act that happened to his daughters?
Well, I think the odds are pretty good that he's alive for the time being. I don't know how long that will last. He's probably, I'm certainly not an expert in his mental health conditions, but he's probably still on some kind of a rush of what happened. If he does come in a moment of clarity, he might take his own life, or he might decide to try to do it as a suicide by cop or something like that. But my thoughts are he's probably still out there.
I mean, I'm not trying to take the higher ground here. I'm just saying this is just, I think it's a systematic problem. It starts at the top and it goes all the way downhill to the actual victims. It's like nothing is ever done. Nothing gets done. It's just sad. It's horrible.
It all depends on how much planning he put into this. And I'm sure that the investigation is focused on part of that is focused on part of it is how much planning he put into this.
Well, I think of having enough baggies for 3 little girls' heads and zip ties and something obviously to secure the baggies around their heads. And that sounds like planning to me. We don't just all drive around with that kind of material in our truck, especially if we're homeless.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of it is, did he have time to go out and stash food resources like Rudolph did in our search? His father had said he had been in those mountains at times off the grid for months at a time. So did he plan on being there this time and putting food away and things like that? So that's going to be part of it. I think the biggest advantage he had right now is a head start.
Well, that sucks, Dee. Yeah, it's terrible. What if he was murked and somebody else did it? It's possible. Definitely possible.
He was due to have those children back to the mother at, I think, 8 o'clock on Friday night. And by 9, she notified the authorities. But they didn't put out an alert until, the next day. For some reason, he did not meet the criteria for an Amber Alert, according to the state police. The local police did want to put out that Amber Alert, I think. And the state police who control those boards on the highways said he didn't meet the criteria. And so they...
There's criteria, and I posted this in community chat. There's criteria, but the government leaves it up to the state and local officials to make their own determinations on that. It has to meet certain elements of the criteria, but they can do whatever they want. There's no real system to say, okay, we're not going to do that. They can do it whenever they want to. Um, so they could have done it if they wanted to.
They were a little delayed in putting out that Amber Alert, and we now know that his license plate was seen on a highway plate reader leaving.
See, this case here, this is one of those cases where this probably could have been stopped, right? Multiple times. So that's exactly what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. They're kids, right?
Town at some point on Saturday, I believe. So we don't know.
I guarantee you, if this was a state cops kid, there would have been an Amber Alert issued. That's all I'm saying.
What happened between, Friday when he was supposed to bring those girls home and really Monday when those girls' bodies were found midday.
Bobby, do you think being homeless is an advantage here or a disadvantage? Because on one hand, he's homeless. He doesn't have a whole lot of money to get the supplies that you're talking about to stash in the woods and be prepared for 3 months off the grid. But being homeless certainly does let us know that he knows how to live rough.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think it is an advantage, I think, in this particular case, because people are if he's very used to living in an uncomfortable environment, for us, it would be uncomfortable, but for him, it's not. And they're also used to scavenging for food and in ways of getting a hold of things to eat. Homeless people are, adept at that. That's how they stay alive oftentimes. And so I think in this particular case, at least in the short term, it's an advantage for him.
What do you think police are doing right now?
I think they're doing a couple of things.
Okay, so hold on one second. I just want to bring this up because I don't know, because I can. Hold on one second here. So this is coming from AI Overview here. Amber Alerts have been proven to be quite effective in successfully recovering abducted children. This is why it was issued in the first place for abducted children, but at least 1,268, probably more than it now, haven't been recovered through the system. The alerts, which are broadcast to the public via various channels, they have them all over the highways now, increase public awareness and generate immediate action, significantly improving the chances of finding them. So this thing does work. I mean, it's not like it's not effective. This is a very effective way of retrieving children that have been abducted. That's what it was there for in the first place. Some experts believe, okay, so here we go. Positive impact. Amber Alerts have been credited with the safe recovery of numerous children. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children notes that the public awareness is a crucial factor in increasing this works. The Amber Alert system is used in all 50 states and 45 countries. Some experts believe the Amber Alerts can serve as a deterrent, potentially causing perpetrators to release abducted children after hearing about this alert. While highly effective, some experts point out that not all alerts are issued in cases of imminent danger, and that some of the alerts may not be beneficial as they appear. Numerous successful recoveries, such as the rescue of Ray Lee Bradbury, highlight the positive impact that they work. I mean, there's data there telling people that they work. I mean, it's just now it's one of those things where why don't they do it? I mean, obviously these kids were in danger. I don't get it. Sorry. They waited a whole day. It's like I hate people.
Many things at one time. I think they're interviewing family, friends, people that he may have sought assistance from. They're doing the obvious, which is like land searches. Sometimes the only thing you can do is get feet on the ground, boots on the ground in those mountains, which are rugged. Some places you can't even use drones.
Okay, this Wenatchee, Washington, accused of unaliving. So they're even here. They're saying accused. May 30th, military, possibly armed. no real support system, $20,000. You know, that's the reward. So the marshals will find them. It's just win.
Because the forest canopy is so thick that the drones can't even look through the forest canopy. So if you pick those kind of areas that Rudolph did way back when, you know, you can't even use the technology that sometimes you can deploy. So really boots on the ground, doing grid searches, starting from, you know, where he was, where the kids' bodies were found. Conceivably, he didn't have a vehicle after that. They found his vehicle. So he's on foot from that point. So
Here's the thing, right? This one of the reasons I didn't put him on Valencia's birth certificate. That's such an awesome name, anyways. This poor mom wasn't able to keep him away for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just they don't. That's why I played that other one first, because you know people just it goes through people's ears sometimes. I look at the Harmony Montgomery case. I mean, it's just people were screaming, for God's sakes, don't give them to the parents, right? It's just you hear about this shit all the time. It's just not, the protest that's going on is over. He was the one who's not the National Guard yet. Is that heating up, or these people are, you know, these the whole system needs to be changed. It just doesn't protect anybody. It seems the only people that this protects is the people that do it. It's just weird.
Calculate how many, you know, miles a day he might be able to travel, and then you draw a map and you draw concentric circles, and you put teams, if you can, you try to put as many resources, and this is a very labor intensive effort. So while some teams are looking at his background,
right,
his family connections, his friends connections, other people are just on the ground searching those woods.
Well, Bobby, let's hope at some point they catch this guy, because I think that mom and the rest of us deserve justice. Thanks so much for being on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, I just think the whole system, when it comes to kids, though, this is why I posted this on the community page. When it comes to kids, I don't care what it, just do the alert. Who cares? I mean, I don't care. Nobody cares. Just do it. Or I don't want to go to this one here. I mean, look at these kids. It's just why, you know, just it aggravates you. It just really does. It just you know.
The suspect in a triple murder case continues to evade authorities a week after.
This was done a day ago. I don't know why I cover this shit, because it just aggravates me.
After his young daughters were last seen. I'm Jessica Janner Castro. Law enforcement agencies are looking for 32-year-old Travis Decker, who has been charged with murder in the deaths of 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia. Here's what we know about the timeline of the case. Travis Decker picked his daughters up in Wenatchee for a scheduled visit Friday, May 30th. Hours later, their mother reported them missing after they didn't return. On May 31st, police...
There isn't anything I wouldn't do for my kids. Just nothing. Like or anybody else's kids for that matter. He was non-custodial. Exactly. I just, you know, it angers me because it happens all the time. It doesn't end, and you hear about it. Every state does it. It's so weird. Every kid should get an Amber Alert. If they're missing right away, just Amber Alert, Amber Alert, Amber Alert. But, you know, the thing is that some people don't believe that. And those are the people that are in charge. Well, thank you, Dirty Diana. Thank you very much. You need to keep your kids safe. That's the bottom line. No matter how you got to do it.
Activated an endangered missing person alert for the Deckers. They remained missing over the weekend. On June 2nd, information led the Chelan County Sheriff's Office to search Icicle Road near Leavenworth. There, they found Travis Decker's truck near the Rock Island campground. Law enforcement searched the surrounding area and they found the 3 Decker children dead. Travis Decker.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to all dads out there for sure. Yeah, I think he was supposed to. I don't think he was supposed to have overnights. Yeah, they didn't have an Amber Alert for Abby and Libby either. Even though Mike Patty said that they were pinging the phone all over the place. So who knows? There's Raven. Who's Raven? Sorry, let's do this here.
Decker was nowhere to be found, and police have been searching the area for him since. Sebastian Robertson picks up the story after police found the three sisters dead.
Travis Decker, a military veteran with extensive training, last seen in the Wenatchee National Forest. Prosecutors have charged Decker with the kidnapping and murder of his three young daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia.
That is definitely an individual that needs to be caught and dealt with according to the law.
The communities of Leavenworth and Wenatchee asked to stay on high alert as the FBI, Border Patrol, Homeland Security, and Sheriff's Office investigators combed the area near the Rock Island campground. A deputy on patrol found his truck and then the children's bodies about 100 feet away. Police found key pieces of evidence near the truck, zip ties and plastic bags.
It's hard to imagine why somebody would do that. If it's his children and stuff, you know, it's a horrible, vengeful act if that's the case. He was taking it out on innocent kids.
The girls were reported missing out of Wenatchee after their father failed to return them on time from a scheduled visitation. Their mother told police this was the first time Decker had been late with the kids. Court documents obtained by King 5 from the Chelan County Superior Court show the Deckers had fought over the custody of their three children. The girls' mother said Decker was homeless and had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. But records show no one was concerned.
All right, so here's a question. Do you guys want to watch the riots or because I can or no?
Concerned about violence and that the kids had always looked forward to spending time with their dad. Tonight, three sisters are dead, their father charged in their killings.
Joining us now is King 5 law enforcement analyst, former King County Sheriff John Urquhart. Sheriff, thanks for being here.
You bet.
Sheriff Urquhart, tell us how a search like this changes once we're several days in.
As long as they don't have good information that he may be somewhere else, I don't think anything changes. They've really ramped this search up to include a whole lot of assets, local, state, federal assets, to try to find this guy. And I suspect they will keep doing this. You got to remember, this is a case that has so much emotion in it because of the nature of it. I don't think anybody wants to stop. None of those officers, federal or state or local, want to stop searching until they catch this suspect.
You mentioned the emotion tied to this case. How does law enforcement sustain a search like this for several days?
Basically, they're running on adrenaline and coffee is really what it boils down to, because it's a 24-hour-a-day operation, and they're just not going to quit. You know, they want to catch this guy, period.
Tell us what kind of resources the Chelan County Sheriff's Department has available to them at this point.
Well, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office is relatively small. Chelan County is 81,000 people, so it doesn't have a large county sheriff's office. And you've got Wenatchee, which is a relatively small city. But what they've done is they've called on resources really from all over the country. The Border Patrol, the State Patrol, the FBI, everybody is there looking for this guy. They've got the federal helicopters, they've got the State Patrol fixed wing aircraft that's circling the area. They're doing everything they possibly can. And I want to talk about another case that I think is really instructive. Well, exactly 2 weeks ago, there was a police chief in Arkansas or Alabama that was convicted of murder, walked out of prison, and off he went. We've all seen that. He was caught today, 1.5 miles from the prison 2 weeks later.
Wow.
So that tells me this guy, could be still in the area. And he has a lot more survival skills than this former police chief does. So we really don't know. But at this point, we've got to stay where we are.
I want to follow up on that here in a moment, but there is some speculation that he was searching on the web. We got information that he was looking at how to move to Canada in recent days. So does that change things for law enforcement at all? As you mentioned, he could be right there, just tucked away in the wilderness, but could he also be making a move across the border, and how does that play in?
Sure. He could be on that Pacific Crest Trail that runs right up into Canada.
Yeah.
But there are border people on both sides of the border there. That seems like a long shot to me that he would be able to make it to Canada, especially apparently without a car, as far as we know. I know they'll be looking at stolen cars in the area if there are any. I think that's kind of a long shot.
Okay.
Maybe his plan was to drive the girls up into Canada, and obviously that changed. We just don't know, but they'll take that into consideration, and they'll let the Canadian authorities know about this.
Yeah, a lot we don't know in this case, how much of a head start he may have had on authorities as well. You mentioned his survivalist skills. How does that play into what authorities are thinking in terms of his mindset?
Well, it's one thing for you or me to go up into the woods and try to survive for any period of time, and probably wouldn't last very long.
No.
If he's got experience, if he's been in the woods before, depending on how long he planned this, he could have stashed food and other survival gear up there. Again, this is all supposition. We just don't know. So what we have to do, what they have to do, is work on what they have, which is that general area, and either expand it or contract it.
So I do have, hold on a second, I do have this here. I haven't had to break this out in a long time, but I do have this. So, and I'm going to go check Washington soon too. So I do have, so this is the helicopters in the area where the riots are. So this is United States Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is right here. Let's see here. And then what is this one here? This is Pasadena Police Department here. So this is LA here, right? So let me get rid of that one there. But that's the sheriff. Who is this? Did I check that one? Anaheim. My dog is snoring. Hold on a second here. Right there, this is so I'll keep this up here while we're watching that, and I'm going to go up to Washington next because I want to see if they have any helicopters out there searching for Travis Decker here. So let's get out of this right now, and then I'll go back to the interview. Hold on a second. I do have the flight tracker thing.
As they continue.
And any final thoughts on the search? We only have a few seconds left, but what you're going to be watching for in the next few days?
I'm surprised they haven't caught him by now or found his body. So we'll see.
Okay. Sheriff Urquhart, thanks so much for your time and being with us today. Several days into the search for Travis Decker, the Chelan County Sheriff says there are concerns Decker may be able to live off the land for.
Yeah, I haven't had to use the flight data thing for a while. I think that was the last time I had to use it. No, there was the fires in LA is when I used it the last time. I was on Xaname's channel, and we were looking for that helicopter, and we found it. Johnny had mega pints to cope with. Where is Mino? I hope he's all right.
weeks, if not months at a time because of those survivalist skills we talked about. Jim Nelson is in Wenatchee with what we've learned.
This poor mom, she just lost her entire family in one freaking day. Just awful. Terrible.
The outpouring of support seems never ending.
I'm going to have to, does anybody know the GoFundMe thing is, because I'm going to have to donate here to this. This is just awful.
My heart goes out to the family. And just hearing about this, I can't imagine this happening.
Terry Frank and family brought flowers.
Here you go, honey. That's for you guys. 1, 2, and 3.
More tributes to Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn Decker. These sunny days feel awfully dark. Just a few hundred feet away.
Good evening.
Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison said they learned.
Karen Lee's here. Hey, Karen, good to see you. It's horrible. It's just absolutely, it's angering. It's very angering.
Learned through Travis Decker's father that he's a skilled survivor with military training and has previously spent months off the grid.
But our primary goal is to track him down. Of course, we want to make sure that he's safe, but ultimately he will be brought to justice.
The sheriff says Decker may have gotten as much as a 3-day head start on investigators.
A lot of our guys are working with sleep deprivation, but their thoughts are always on the girls and making sure that we're staying motivated and getting the results the family expects out of us.
There have been leads, but so far no sign of Decker. The most recent footage of him was captured on a Ring camera before his scheduled visitation with his daughters. Back at the memorial, community struggles, reflects, cries.
Losing a child is tough, but losing 3, no. No mother should have to go through that.
Some bring their children who learned of this tragedy.
Thank you, Dee. I appreciate that. So there's the GoFundMe account. I'm gonna have to send some there. Thank you very much for that. Has anyone seen Jenny? No, I haven't seen Jenny. I hope she's okay. I saw her a couple. Didn't I see her on? I saw her somewhere. But that was last week, though. I think.
In school.
She was telling me, what they did for the girls is do cards at school today and, just remember them. Yeah, that's why I brought.
That's so awful. It's so sad. Look at this. This is just.
No mother should have to go through that.
Some bring their children who learned of this tragedy in school.
She was telling me, what they did for the girls is do cards at school today and.
Oh, that's just so awful. It's terrible.
Just remember them. Yeah, that's why I brought her out here, just so she can put a face together to see what they were talking about today.
If only those girls could see the lives they touched. Regarding the potential head start that Decker may have on investigators, that's based on.
I did. I donated to the Flora 4 fire too, way before they stole that. But these days here, you got to be careful who you donate to as well. I mean, but thank you for that, Jocelyn. Appreciate that. It's over 1 million. It's always good to see Karen in the chat. Karen's an amazing person. This is just such a horrible case. I didn't even want to, this is why it's like this stuff is just, it sucks. It's awful. I just want to break something.
When he and the girls were last seen and when their bodies were found.
As the search for Travis Decker intensifies, investigators believe Travis Decker may be traveling along or near the Pacific Crest Trail that's just west of the enchantments, which authorities have shut down. Bridget Chavez explains how this impacts the search.
We're near the entrance to the enchantments, which is just a few miles up this road.
Hello, Nicole Watt. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. The one with over 1 million is the legit GoFundMe one, I believe. Thank you, Karen. Because I know there's a lot of scams out there. You gotta be careful. You definitely don't want. I mean, people try to do the right thing and donate and stuff like that, and it goes to some dick face. This one here, the one with the floor fire. We all know who stole that, right? It's just, It's good to see Nicole Watton here. But yeah, I would definitely be careful of that. If it shows up, usually if it shows up in the media screen here, I'll try to copy it, paste it, and put it in the chat.
This is where authorities believe.
Actually, it's probably right down in here somewhere. Yeah, but I pretty much trust what you guys are saying about that.
Travis Decker could be hiding. They haven't said specifically if he's been seen in this area, but this is part of where crews are narrowing in their search. It's one of the most surreal.
Yes, I'm down scrolling across the bottom is Heather's GoFundMe thing here. She's not feeling all that great, so definitely would appreciate if people could go there. Nicole, good to see you. Not going to bug you, but let me know if you want a wrench. I get in trouble for throwing wrenches around in here.
Green and peaceful places in all of Washington. Yesterday,
I do want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. I appreciate everybody for being here. You guys are all awesome.
Evening, I drove up to see the sunset, and we drove all the way up, no road closures.
The enchantments are now in.
If I was younger, I would definitely go out there and try to find this clown.
Intertwined with a dangerous manhunt.
Then I drove up this evening, and the road was obviously blocked off.
Authorities are searching for 32-year-old Travis Decker. He's accused of killing his 3 young daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, found dead near Leavenworth Monday.
Whitney is living every parent's worst nightmare. The hole in her heart is immeasurable.
Decker hasn't been seen in days as the sun now sets on the 4th day of this search. Fear is growing.
It's so out of the ordinary, especially just knowing that this guy, the suspected killer, lived in the same area that I grew up in.
Legal experts say this shouldn't have happened.
This stuff just aggravating. When it comes to kids, man, I'm telling you, it should affect me with anybody, but kids, kids don't deserve this shit.
Happened.
There were a number of red flags.
Decker, a veteran, had documented mental.
If I hear that red flag thing one more time, they're not red flags. They're like, this is serious shit, right?
Mental health issues.
So he's 5'8", he weighs about 190 pounds. He's got a man bun.
And yet, Professor Deirdre Bowen says the system left the children vulnerable. She points to court records that show the girl's mother raised concerns during a parenting plan modification last fall.
Clearly, these 3 children should not be sleeping on a mattress in an armory of what appeared to be a men's homeless shelter.
A dark cloud now hangs over these mountains, but locals say the light here will shine again.
Hopefully, they obviously find the person that did all of this. I hope it doesn't affect what everyone's perceives this as, because it is a very beautiful place.
Authorities say if you see Decker do.
Just to let you guys know, if you guys have channels, if you know anybody else has channels, feel free to throw them in the chat. That's why everybody has wrenches in here, because most people have channels.
Do not approach him. Call 911. There is now.
I've seen this reporter somewhere before. What did she?
A 20,000.
She was a reporter for someone else, I think. She looks very familiar.
$1 reward for any information that leads to his arrest. In Leavenworth, Bridget Chavez, King 5 News.
The search for Travis Decker is widening, and some residents who live along Icicle Road in Leavenworth are right in the middle of it. Alex McClune speaks with the son of 2 residents who has concerns about safety.
We're heading to my parents' house. They're up Bicycle Creek. This all here.
Yeah, see, here's the deal, right? These guys take off, and it's up to the U.S. Marshals. The Marshals will find him. There's no doubt. I have no doubt they'll find him. But when, that's here in Australia. I don't donate GoFundMe on principle. It's nothing against you personally. Yeah, you don't have to. It is. I talk with him often. Um, all right, let's go back to this here.
Here's my parents' property.
Dean Summers knows this part of Chelan County like the back of his hands.
There's all kinds of hidden caves throughout the side.
You know, to be honest with you, this might come out a little bit, strange for me, but I actually hoping he's unalived. I'll be honest with you, but because this guy's dangerous. If he can, someone in Washington just told me that the locals are wondering if Travis Decker possibly literally went underground and killed himself. Yeah, I'm about 60%. I don't think he's alive, but I've been wrong before. So yeah, definitely possible. But at the same time, if he's not unalived, he's very dangerous because if he can do this to his own children, he can do it to anybody. And he's going to need provisions at some point. He's going to need, supplies at some point because, it's a pretty rough terrain out here. And you can only survive on nature for so long. The mosquitoes itself will kill you. I mean, if you went out here in the mountains out here right now, you would probably die from just mosquitoes alone. It's just it's the way it is here.
Out of this hill here, there's probably hundreds throughout the whole hillside here. So.
Heavily wooded and populated by more armed search teams by the day.
I don't feel like my parents are safe. I don't think the neighbors are really safe.
Mountain town living, he's a groundskeeper here, and for others in this part of Chelan County. It's unclear, though, who's heard the warnings.
They're so used to no crime that their car's sitting there, the bikes are sitting there.
An easy target for a man wanted by police. Dean's been here for 20 years. He knows his neighbors can afford to feel safe with their homes and vacation cabins. That's why he's tried to get them to heed the warnings.
Lady there by herself, bikes there.
There's bear up in these hills and everything. There's, so.
Everywhere, canoes everywhere, open doors everywhere.
Law enforcement rushed around the area Friday and slowly flew above by helicopter.
Hopefully they're making headway. Here's number 6.
Like Icicle Road, Dean can only go so far.
It's that safe here that they don't contemplate danger.
A beautiful backdrop for a dangerous situation. Residents here are urged to lock their doors and leave their lights on at night. Alex McClune, King 5 News.
We dig into what happened before the 3 Decker girls went missing and the clues investigators are uncovering from Travis Decker's past. That's coming up after the break. As investigators search for Travis Decker, his past is offering clues to what happened before his 3 daughters went missing. We know Decker was a military veteran with extensive training who could pose a significant threat if confronted. Greg Copeland digs into court documents that shed light on Decker's mental state.
Court documents paint a picture of a troubled father and Army veteran who became homeless after his divorce. Whitney Decker told police her ex-husband Travis Decker was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder at the end of their marriage and would wake up in the middle of the night screaming at her. However, she also told police he had never been violent. In a parenting plan change filed last September, a judge ordered Decker to be evaluated for anger management. That new plan reduced Decker's access to his kids to every other weekend with no overnight visits. Since Decker had custodial rights, the State Patrol said it initially didn't consider this an abduction. That is one of the reasons it did not issue an Amber Alert. Whitney also told police Decker had never been late dropping off their kids. Court documents say police searched for Decker at all hotels in Wenatchee as well as campsites. On Monday afternoon, deputy.
So let's hold on a second. Let's stop sharing this here. Go here. So on the flight radar tracker here, we got, I'm assuming that this is where this is in here. This is Wenatchee. There's one helicopter here. I don't know if this is, doing anything or not, but there is one helicopter out here. I don't know if they're. I can't get. I don't know who that is. Nothing available. Registration. Global Ranger, maybe it could be. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Maybe they're because you guys are 3 hours behind us, right? I'm over here on the East Coast, so they could be searching up here. That could be a helicopter. All right, let me. Second here. Let me get out of that. I'll keep that up there. I do have the scanner too, but.
Deputies found Decker's empty truck outside of Leavenworth and the bodies of the 3 girls nearby. Investigators also found zip ties and plastic bags strewn throughout that area. Court documents.
Good night, Karen. If you're leaving, thank you so much for coming in. Karen Lee's amazing. She's doing double dipping here. Always good to see Karen in the chat, though, for sure. Tell everybody I said hi. I know I got to start doing more lives. I have no idea because I was under the impression that you couldn't get help from the VA, right? All right, so let me get back to this. Sorry.
Documents say they likely died by asphyxiation.
Travis Decker's ex-wife told us she is not ready to talk on camera, but her attorney is speaking out on her behalf. Alex McLoone shares what Whitney Decker wants every parent and lawmaker to hear.
We are getting a fuller
This was done yesterday, I think, or Friday.
picture of Travis Decker, the man whose life appeared to be falling apart with mental illness, homelessness, and the
So did they find the truck? Is that what they just said? Because this might have a track. This truck may have a tracker on it, but
inability to hold down a job. And access to his kids was cut to
the mom, except when they are scheduled to live with Travis Decker, which is obviously the father. So the father shall have the opportunity to have visitation with the children every other weekend. The visitations will not be overnight at this time, so no overnight. Father may have visitation subject to the limitation of section 14 on Fridays from 5 to 8, which is 3 hours, Saturdays from 11 to 7 p.m. So this is all day, and then Sundays from 9 to 5 p.m. This is all day.
weekend after a custody hearing 9 months ago.
He was an engaged father. He did have some limitations on his parenting time due to his mental illness.
The mother's attorney in the custody case says Travis became homeless a year and a half ago after leaving the Army as a Ranger.
He left voluntarily, so I believe his discharge was honorable. I think as far as the reserves, he just stopped showing up.
The attorney says Travis worked a couple of minimum wage jobs and at one point was talking to the Carpenters Union about possible work, but his skills just didn't transfer.
There were no red flags. He was struggling with isolation and.
So they found a truck. The girls were close to it. Yep, that's what I thought. I'm almost like I said, about 60% of me thinks he's probably unalived himself. But you never know. Some of these guys are, they're so scared of taking their own. They'll harm other people. They won't harm themselves.
Records show Decker was diagnosed with a serious mental illness. The attorneys.
Borderline personality. So this is with a continued concern, the lack of communication. I met with Whitney and her parents. Further details. She explained the divorce was civil, and initially Decker had housing and was allowed overnight visits. However, so denied any. So she never had. She denied any domestic violence, but did mention moments of power and control use. She provided the examples of randomly leaving or waking her up by screaming at her in the middle of the night. I don't know, maybe DD can probably. Um, she also said near the end of the marriage, he was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and that she believes he currently does not take medications for it.
Combat, and that Decker tried and tried to get help, but there was too much red tape to get veteran services.
Her children down. It was the inadequacies in the services for our veterans that killed those children. That's it.
The attorney and the mom are also raising concerns about the state's Amber Alert system. Law enforcement officials say they did not see Decker as an immediate danger to his own children, so no Amber Alert was sent out. The attorney says the mother thinks that was a deadly mistake.
They did not see him as an immediate physical danger to his children, despite the fact that he had a well-established history.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the enlistment into the armed services probably didn't help, but I think he probably had something. Yes, Cromley. Ed Cromley. I was just warned prior to everyone else. The creator we all thought was dying at sea, and she looked at, but she ran. Yeah, it happens all the time. I was watching a deep dive on GTC. He may have lied too. Yep. I can try. Looting is starting. I've heard this person speak before, so.
Of mental health issues, and had they had seen it that way, those children might still.
And access to his kids was cut to every other weekend after a custody hearing 9 months ago.
He was an engaged father. He did have some limitations on his parenting time due to his mental illness.
The mother's attorney in the custody case says Travis became homeless a year and a half ago after leaving the Army as a Ranger.
He left voluntarily, so I believe his discharge was honorable. I think as far as the reserves, he just stopped showing up.
The attorney says Travis worked a couple of minimum wage jobs and at one point was talking to the Carpenters Union about possible work.
Okay, so this is CCSO suspect information.
But his skills just didn't transfer.
There were no red flags. He was struggling with isolation, and
records show Decker was diagnosed with a serious mental illness. The attorney says that was most likely related to his combat and that Decker tried and tried to get help, but there was too much red tape to get veteran services.
She really feels that the system let her children down. It was the inadequacies in the services for our veterans that killed those children. That's it.
The attorney and the mom are also raising concerns about the state's Amber Alert system. Law enforcement officials say they did not see.
There's a lot to initiate VA care. I was fortunate that mine was initiated as soon as we got back to U.S. post deployment. I also had record of line of duty injury while in theater. Yes, thank you for your service, Tracy, for sure. This person here, the person that was just talking, is it possibly at CTE? Yeah, theater? Like combat theater?
Decker as an immediate danger to his own children, so no Amber Alert was sent out. The attorney says the mother thinks that was a deadly mistake.
This is just, I don't know, just this stuff here. Ugh.
They did not.
I mean, these poor kids, they could have been so many things, right? Just,
see him as an immediate physical danger to his children, despite the fact that he had a well-established history of mental health issues. And had they had seen it that way, those children might still be alive. And that's the thing that is so brutal. And the one thing she's really hoping can be changed in this tragedy.
Authorities say Travis Decker's military training gives him the skills to survive off the grid for weeks or months at a time. Bridget Chavez speaks with an expert survivalist, shedding light on how that.
Peggy O is here. Hey, Peggy O, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I used to love Grizzly, but not so much anymore. Grizzly's awesome. Yeah. I don't have a chance. She's over there in where is she? She's in the Netherlands. Is she in the Netherlands or something like that? She's usually on when I'm sleeping. Sometimes she comes on, and I was one of her first followers, actually. Yeah, interesting way they frame that. Correct. Good to see Peggy here. Gisla's awesome. I like Gisla.
That impacts the search.
She's too big for us little people now, but she's still awesome.
Survival expert Jason Knight
So we have a first aid kit.
says having the gear is just one part of it.
I asked her a long time ago. I think she's in the Netherlands, right? She's I asked her a long time ago to do a thing on the Florida 4, and she stepped up and really knocked it out of the park. She had Cop Facts on there, and she had the other guy there. I forget his name now. I keep forgetting his name. But it was an awesome show. Awesome. She did great. I just didn't like how she covered a case, so I just watched her lesson. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree. There's a lot of creators I don't agree with. I thought she was in the Netherlands.
Here's one of my favorite water filtration systems. It's basically, they call it a survival straw.
Staying alive depends on knowing how to use it.
So I think every survival kit needs at least 2 ways of making fire. A couple other things. So navigation, so I always recommend bringing maps of the area you plan to be in, but regardless of where you go, a compass is key, and understanding how to use it.
The search for
She's an actual pilot. Yeah, I think she might have moved from the Netherlands. She's just amazing. She's an amazing person.
Travis Decker, accused of killing his 3 young daughters, now stretches from the Enchantments to the North Cascades.
There's areas that are quite thick and brushy. There's obstacles, there's wild animals.
Decker's background as a former Army Ranger and skilled outdoorsman raises questions about how long he can survive in the wilderness.
Being with that, there's the military background. It's an even more complex layer of that.
Experts point to a guiding principle called the Rule of Threes.
You can survive, roughly 3 hours without a regulated body temperature before hypothermia can do you in, roughly 3 days without water before it becomes lethal, and roughly 3 weeks without food before starvation starts to become a problem.
Making it that long, even with training, isn't guaranteed.
There's the social isolation portion of it, the psychological aspect that can be difficult.
In terrain this vast and with skills like Decker's, survival is possible, but even for the most prepared, it gets harder with time.
Even the best survivalists struggle with getting enough of the right foods over the long term.
How long someone can last, that's the unanswered question.
There has been a massive outpouring of support, as you can imagine, for those 3 little girls and their mother, and a growing memorial for the lives lost. That is coming up after the break. This case.
Charlie Manson is here. Hey, Charlie, good to see you. She was in the Netherlands in 2019, but she's born. Yeah, she's born. I know she's born in South America. South Africa. Listen to me. And then she moved. I remember her riding her bike through the Netherlands. She is in Switzerland for job reasons. Okay, so she did move. She has probably one of the best radio voices ever in history. Like, she'd be great on radio. But Charles Manson is here. It's good to see you, buddy.
This has left the community of Wenatchee stunned. Alex McClune shares what we've learned about the sisters and how the community is reacting to the tragic news.
In the heart of Wenatchee, Memorial Park is where people plan to pray again after tragedy took the Decker sisters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. Word about their disappearance spread over the weekend and turned into tragedy Tuesday after their father allegedly took their lives.
We got a notification on it at the St. Francis that said be on a lookout for him, so we will keep our eyes open and peeled for him.
Wenatchee resident Cole Turner was in Leavenworth visiting his parents over the weekend.
Leavenworth doesn't have its own police department, so it's a big deal if you see a lot of cops cruising through. I could never even imagine what emotions was going through his head at the time. I don't know. Why would you take them to begin with? What was your motive? That's gnarly.
A question turning stomachs upside down. The girls were in kindergarten in the 2nd and 3rd grades. Wenatchee School District says this is an absolutely heartbreaking day for the Wenatchee School District. Our hearts are shattered by the confirmed loss of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker. Our focus right now is entirely on supporting their family and our Lincoln school community through this unimaginable pain. As the sun starts to set, a family friend says their mother is starting to learn to live without her daughters.
Just praying for the family, praying for the mom, because the mom's got to be going through some stress right now.
The day after the girls were found dead, about 300 people attended a vigil in Wenatchee for those young victims. Many were children themselves. They played sports or participated in other activities with those girls. Jim Nelson was at the very emotional tribute to Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia.
Not the occasion that any of us would have wanted to be gathered tonight, but we're here.
This is the last place anyone wanted to be overcome with such sadness.
Obviously, it's hard. I've been really proud of the girls. They've all been so supportive of each other and giving each other hugs.
To be remembering 3 young lives, children, grieving children.
I really miss her, and I just think it was too early.
They prayed that Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn would come home safely. But when that flickering hope burnt out, reality set in.
Though we lack the words that bring the comfort, what we don't lack is the sense of community.
And now, this community grieves together. The type of grief that brings an old vet to his knees. The grief young children face for the first time in their lives.
She was really nice. She was a really good dancer. And I really think she was a really good friend.
8-year-old Lily was on the same dance team as Evelyn. Lily's mom, Missy, went to college with the girl's mother.
Those girls were her whole world. She did everything for them, and they were so involved in the community.
There's that word again, community. And as this community struggles to cope or come up with the right things to say, they vow, for now, to let their actions do the talking.
Remember what we talked about? We're gonna dance even harder.
For Evelyn.
For Evelyn. Yeah.
I just really miss her.
And we're gonna remember her.
That just sucks. It's just so horrible. It's what is going on here now? Why is I lost my helicopter. All right, hold on a second.
Forever, huh? Her and her sisters.
Yeah.
Perhaps the last place anyone wants to be is the first place they need to be to begin the healing process.
Okay, I'll do that. Just give me 2 seconds. It makes you want to
As the community continues to grieve, there has been a massive effort to support the girl's mother, Whitney Decker. Tens of thousands of people have generously contributed to an online fundraiser. On Thursday, it became only the second GoFundMe in Washington state to surpass $1 million. It's one way the local community and people from around the world are hoping to help in this very difficult healing process. Thanks for being with us. I'm Jessica Janner Castro. Thanks for watching.
That's aggravating. That sucks. When was this one done? Hold on a second here. All right, what do you guys want to do now? Do you want to go to what will money do? Won't bring them back exactly. Yes, Karen's awesome. Karen knows everything about that stuff. She has a an advocates thing on what is it? Twitter, I think. I forget what it is. It is just so terrible. It's let me give hold on a second. Let me give I'm gonna give Nicole a wrench here. Hold on a second. Where is she? She's right there. It's terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. All right, so let me know if that worked. I think I did that. All right, so let me know what you guys want to do. Let me play this one here.
3 young sisters are dead, and their father is on the run. Authorities in Washington say the 5, 8, and 9-year-old girls were reported missing last Friday after a scheduled custody visit with their dad. Detectives tracked Travis Decker's vehicle near a campground. That's where they found the girls' bodies. Their cause of death.
Okay, good. So it worked. All right, awesome. Nicole, now you can block me. That's too funny. I think it's what we do to help when we don't know what to do, so we donate, right? Well, I mean, she could probably use that for, unfortunately, funeral expenses and stuff like that. But yeah, it is. It's just one of those. Nobody else knows what to do. Plus, might be like one of those signs of support. I don't know.
Just revealed. Now, a manhunt is underway to find Decker. Police say he's possibly armed and dangerous. I'm your host, Kennedy Walker, and you're watching Law and Crime.
Your memory will never be forgotten, and we will not stop pursuing justice for you until those that were accountable for this are found.
Wenatchee police say the bodies of 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia Decker were found near a remote campground in Wenatchee, Washington, about 2.5 hours away from Seattle. The sisters vanished on Friday, May 30th. Authorities say it appears they had been suffocated. Their mother called authorities when the girls weren't returned after a scheduled custody visit with their father, Travis Decker. Investigators released images of Decker's white 2017 GMC Sierra pickup and eventually tracked the truck to Rock Island Campground. If you look up the campground online, it says visitors are required to physically arrive at the campground to purchase and claim a site. Officers searched the area and found the girls' bodies, but Decker was gone.
Going on 20 years, I don't think I've had a situation that has really almost prompted tears to come up.
Decker's truck was located in a remote area 17 miles up the road from the campground by a Chelan County Forest Service deputy who was patrolling the area on a motorcycle. A manhunt is now underway.
And we will not rest until Travis is located. Travis, if you're listening, this is your opportunity to turn yourself in. Do the right thing, do what you need to do, and take accountability for your actions. We're not going to go away, we're not going to rest, and we're going to make sure we find you. You will be brought to justice. Those young ladies deserve it.
Police are asking those who see him or know about his whereabouts since Friday
What the hell is going on?
to call 911 immediately. Police described Decker as 5'8" and 190 pounds with black hair.
Aaron Hernandez. Remember Aaron Hernandez? Maybe Gino's here and he blocked us all. Let's hope he's here. Let's hope he's well. Michael serial killer.
and brown eyes. A warrant has been issued for his arrest, charging the former military member with 3 counts of kidnapping and first-degree murder. The girl's mother, Whitney Decker, told KIRO News her ex-husband had struggled with mental health since leaving the military, but she never believed he was dangerous. Whitney reportedly told police her ex-husband picked up the girls around 5 p.m. last Friday, but when he didn't bring them back by 8, she got worried. She said she tried calling, but his phone went straight to voicemail. She also told investigators Decker was homeless and often stayed at local campgrounds. Wenatchee police said Decker was believed to be living out of his truck. Numerous law enforcement agencies are searching for Decker, including the FBI, Chelan County Sheriff's Office, Emergency Management, and Homeland Security. A GoFundMe has been launched to support Whitney Decker, a mother who, in just one night, lost all 3 of her daughters. And joining me to talk more about this is criminal defense attorney and former assistant district attorney Anthony Oso. Anthony, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
So this case is horrifying. From a legal standpoint, how do courts typically treat cases involving children this young?
They're going to treat them very delicately. There's going to be a lot of attention paid to a case like this, obviously because it's tragic is not even the proper word. It's way worse than that. And so I think it's going to have a lot of attention from the court, their first degree cases. And so the offense is very serious.
And the fact that these were his own kids, does that make the charges more severe? Would it be normal for prosecutors to seek the death penalty in a case like this?
It depends on the law in the state. So depending on what jurisdiction it is, I think in your more conservative states where the death penalty is commonly used, this is the type of case where you could see the death penalty. Again, I don't think authorities have Decker yet, and I'll be interested to see the mental health situation that the defense will likely delve into before a prosecuting office makes that decision.
Yeah, right now, like you said, there is a manhunt underway. He could be caught at any moment now. How does that impact just the timeline of the case legally?
Well, I don't think that the proceedings are going to be able to move forward without a defendant or party to the case. And so it's going to stall any court dates and any court proceedings.
What happens the moment that he is caught, though? Is he arraigned immediately, or do investigators get more time to question him?
So he will likely be, now that there's probable cause for his arrest, I imagine that investigators would read him or his Miranda rights, and then he could either waive those or he could choose to exercise his right to an attorney. But upon his arrest, he's got to be before arraigned or before a magistrate in a very short period of time, approximately 48 hours.
Does the fact that he is on the run, would prosecutors consider that consciousness of guilt?
Absolutely. But I still think, in my opinion, I think that the charges are slightly premature just based on what I've read. I think that treating him as a person of interest or a suspect at this point is appropriate, but to have already filed the charges this early on, I think is jumping the gun. But I do think if the evidence is there, that yes, him fleeing is certainly evidence of consciousness of guilt.
Well, in your experience, why do prosecutors do that? Because he wasn't just charged with murder, he was also charged with kidnapping as well, which I thought was kind of interesting, because why charge him with kidnapping if obviously the murder charge would trump that?
Right. I strategically, I don't understand it here, except for that it would trigger a warrant, but they already had warrants for his arrest on the kidnapping charges, because I think that had something to do with him not answering the phone or violating whatever the terms were of his visitation with the children. I imagine that at this point, there are still a lot of unknowns. I know that the cause of death was asphyxiation in this case, but as far as him, aside from him being the last person that was there, or that they were seen with, I don't really see the strategy in filing the murder charges this early on.
Well, do you think because they were found near, the 3 little girls were found near his truck? I know they put out,
What's up, Charles? Good to see you, buddy. I like Aaron when he played for the Pats. Shocked that he would unalive someone. He threw away a promising career. They knew about him, though, before that. He was in trouble in Florida. I don't know if they knew about it, but they everybody was telling him, see a cat on the prowl, Shibby. When he played for Florida State, right? Yes, yes, of course I can give you a wrench. Sure, absolutely. Give me 2 seconds here. Sorry.
Signs asking everyone to check around. They got his license plate, found the bodies near his truck, and then they are, young. I think 9, 8, and 5 years old, so they can't really get around themselves. I'm thinking maybe that's why.
Sure, and I get that point. I just, again, I think that there's nothing preventing investigators from identifying him as a suspect, apprehending him, or even getting a warrant to get some sort of DNA specimen from him to make comparisons to what they find on scene. I just think that there are a lot of things that they could do in an effort prior to filing charges. Again, I do think that with those first-degree charges, he's going to.
All right, let me know if that worked. I think I gave you a wrench. Sorry, I'm doing a few things behind the scenes here. DD is on the prowl. Great. So this is Olivia Deca, 5 years old, 4'2", 50 pounds, blonde hair. Just unbelievable. It just sucks.
To be subject to a really high bond, which will help them keep him in custody if he's apprehended.
Right. I'm wondering, do you think that they may even deny the bond? I mean, 3 children dead now.
Yeah, it's possible. It just depends on the laws in the state of Washington and whether the law permits them to deny bond in those cases. Sure, constitutionally, everybody has a right to a bond.
I wonder if the mom is being protected in any way. I know I would have asked for that if I was the mom. I wonder if she's getting any surveillance or anything, because she could be in jeopardy too. That's just my opinion.
Except for a very specific subset of charges, and so it just depends on state law.
Could leaving the state or hiding in remote areas?
I couldn't even imagine going through something like this. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to handle it. I just wouldn't. It just
Areas bring federal charges into this at some point?
I don't think so. I think that this is going to be a state court prosecution. I think that the punishment ranges involved here, it's just the type of case that, in my opinion, will remain within the state. I don't think that they were transported across state lines or anything like that. And so I don't think this triggers any federal charges.
If he, let's say, because he is on the run right now, this happened in Washington, if he's found in California or just...
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're welcome. You found your prey already? Well, congratulations. Okay, I'll play a little bit more of this, and then I want to go
just somewhere else.
Move on to another case, but this is just awful.
Could that make the federal charges come, or is it that would only happen if he brought the kids to another state?
I think if he brought the kids to another state, and I don't think that the charge that could be filed federally carries as significant as a punishment range of that of murder in state court, right? So from the federal prosecutors, well, let's let the state court prosecutors handle it. They've got larger teeth sunk in here with a first-degree punishment range. And I think that's the appropriate way to handle the case.
Let's move on to evidence. Obviously, we're getting more details every moment now, but from an evidence perspective, how crucial is it that they found the girl's body near Mr. Decker's vehicle?
Very crucial. I think if you are putting together a timeline as a prosecutor, he's the last person that's documented having been with them. They're found near the truck. I think his cell phone is found near that campsite or where that truck was, and then leaving that area. So it puts him, it's evidence that puts him on that scene where the girls were found. It's a crucial piece of evidence in this case.
If there's no confession or eyewitnesses, can circumstantial evidence alone still lead to a life sentence? Because the way I see it, 3 little girls, ages 9, 8, and 5, were on a visit with their dad. The dad disappears, yet the girls are found dead near the dad's truck. Even if, let's say, hypothetically, he says he didn't do it, I just don't know how you argue that. So can circumstantial evidence lead to him still going to jail for life, potentially?
Absolutely, Kennedy. When I was a prosecutor, I oftentimes thought that circumstantial evidence is better than witness testimony, because circumstantial evidence doesn't lie. And you put together things like DNA. And I imagine that when they conduct the autopsies in this case, they will swab the areas on the bodies of these children that were possibly where they were strangled and make DNA comparisons. That's the kind of circumstantial evidence. Well, I'd argue that's direct evidence, but that's the kind of direct evidence that they will couple with circumstantial evidence to try and make a case against Mr. Decker here.
I'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully they find this guy soon, but I don't know, it's not looking good. He's probably, I mean, it's possible he's still alive, but I don't know at this point. I'm still sticking with like 60%. Yeah, no. All right, so I do want to go back to this clown here. This guy's back in the news again. Hold on a second. This is John Paul Miller. Remember him? He's the husband that was married to Micah Miller, who apparently voluntarily unalived herself, apparently. So he's back in the news again. He was back in the news this week, June 3rd. Former Solid Rock pastor, piece of shit, John Paul Miller marries third wife. Woman's ex-husband, unalived in 2021. So this guy's got a pattern going here. John Paul Miller has married a woman whose ex-husband confronted him about an alleged affair between the 2 weeks before his 2021 unaliving. Miller, 45, and Susie Skinner wed on a beach ceremony on Sunday. Isn't this kind of bizarre, right? You think? Reportedly protected by armed guards. News Nation reported Miller's previous wife died by unaliving 13 months ago. Has it been 13 months already? Holy crap. Sunday's beach wedding drew criticism for the timing and circumstances surrounding both their deceased spouses. The couple's 7 combined children were absent from the celebration. Of course, the marriage comes as Miller faces civil lawsuits from women, so they're still coming after him for that, alleging saying he has not been criminally charged in connection with any of the unalivings or allegations. Miller's second wife, Micah Miller, 30, was found unalive in North Carolina. We know about this. Skinner's previous husband, this is the one that's in question right now. Chris Skinner was a quadriplegic Army veteran who unalived by drowning in a swimming pool in 2021. According to court documents, Chris Skinner confronted Miller about an alleged affair with his wife, which we know has probably been pretty much going on. At that point, Miller had repeatedly denied having an affair with Susie Skinner, claiming they were only friends. Yeah, okay. John Miller served as pastor at the Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach, and he has denied, of course, all reports of abuse. So he's in the news. He was in the news again, and I just wanted to pass this by because I couldn't find the original report that they did on that a few days ago regarding the the guy's going to keep this guy's keep doing this over and over and over again. He ended up marrying her. You got to be kidding me. So I just wanted to play that or show that because he was in the news again. Hopefully he gets his dues at some point. Hopefully somebody just, I don't know what to tell you. All right, I do want to play this because I just saw this. I just found this, and we did this last week. Remember, we did. Was it last week or the week before that? We did something on the Karen Horman case. So this is brand new. This came out a day ago, I think. Hold on, let me share this here. So we did this little guy here. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Karen Horman, 15 years missing, new details and exclusive interviews. So a KGW plus special marks, 15 years since Karen Horman vanished, including never before seen footage of his stepmother and new interviews with his parents. All right, so let's watch this. This was done a day ago. That's probably why I didn't see this. So here we go. We did a couple one live, I think, on this here 2 weeks ago.
Solved mysteries. The disappearance of Kyron Horman. 15 years after the little boy vanished from school, we look back at the investigation.
Kyron, we're gonna bring you home, buddy.
Share never before seen police body cam footage of Kyron's stepmother in custody following a traffic stop.
I'm gonna read your rights. Okay.
And speak with Kyron's parents.
And in my mind, we have to keep looking for him.
Who reflect on this.
I literally freaking hate that guy. I literally freaking hate John Paul Miller. I can't stand him. He's nothing but a fraud. Like I said, hopefully he gets, what he deserves. That's all I can say.
Search.
It's earth-shattering. I mean, it's just not something that you ever come back from.
I'm Kyle Aboshi, investigative reporter with KGW Channel 8. I remember that day vividly, June 4th, 2010. We were coming back to the station from another story when my wife called. She was worried. She received an automated phone call from Portland Public Schools warning that a little kid had gone missing. The phone call was intended to just go to parents of Skyline School, but instead it went out to the entire.
Welcome back, Dee Dee. Dee Dee's awesome. She's got a great channel. Feel free to check her out. Well, don't check her out, but check out the channel. She's got awesome stuff.
Community. Suddenly, parents all over the.
She's awesome.
City were worried. What happened? And where's this little kid?
This is another one of those horrible cases here. We did kind of like a live on this kid either last week or the week before that. I forget now.
Kyle came to school this morning.
Yeah, I want to know if he actually went to school. I wonder if there was ever any witnesses that saw him at the school, other than the stepmom.
Came to school this morning. He's 7 years old with his stepmom for the science fair. He was wearing this outfit.
Well, Steph, the sheriff's department launched a massive search within an hour of learning that Kyron was missing.
The FBI is also on scene.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Kyron, we're gonna bring you home, buddy. Nothing is more important to your family, your friends, to us. So.
Police are not releasing a lot of details except to say the case is now a criminal investigation.
I was fully expecting them to just slap the cuffs on her and take her away. They're going to do it any second. They're going to take her away. They're going to do it. Here we go. This is going to happen. And it doesn't work that way.
If you have seen Kyron or have any information you think may be beneficial, please call Portland Police.
Kyron was due home off the school bus at 3:45. He did not get off the bus.
And have they found any sign of him at all?
No, not that I've heard of any sign of him at this point.
7-year-old Kyron Horman was last seen after his stepmother, Terry Horman,
there's his picture,
drove him to school for one of the biggest days of the year, the school science fair.
The second grader at Skyline Elementary had worked hard on his project for the science fair.
This is a picture she took of the second grader with his project, the red-eyed tree frog.
After touring exhibits together, they say goodbye in the school hallway. She leaves for home. Kyron heads toward his classroom.
It's the last time anyone remembers seeing him.
Terry Horman posts photos of Kyron from the science fair on her Facebook page.
Kyron doesn't get off the school bus. His stepmom calls the school and learns that.
You think so? You think the stepmom did it? Yeah, I sent her a link the other week. I was gonna check you out, so that's what you did. It's always my fault. Dino lost his sausage. Or was it only the stepmom's account? Right, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if anybody else saw him at the school. Apparently, he had some sort of a science thing going on. It's just weird how nobody's. I haven't seen anything.
The teacher had marked him absent.
This is devastating for the family, as you might guess, and for.
Hold on a second. What did she just say?
Fair on her Facebook page.
Kyron doesn't get off the school bus. His stepmom calls the school and learns the teacher had marked him absent.
This is devastating for the family, as you might guess, and for anybody that knows him. We just want to make sure he gets home safe.
By 9 o'clock, as we watched search teams wade through high, grassy fields, Kyron had been missing more than 13 hours.
Police declared the area a major crime scene. By morning, the military and crews on the ground joined the search.
He's not the kind of child that would just go out of school and just go.
Okay, so hold on a second while I pull up. Answer some of these questions here. So what was the question was, did the school ever contact anyone, or was he reported missing after he didn't get off? I think it was after he didn't get off the school bus. But what I want to know is, according to, now this is according to Wikipedia, so Terry's statements to the police indicate that after leaving the school at 8:45 a.m., she ran errands at two different Fred Meyer grocery stores up until about 10:10 a.m. So there's about a 2-hour difference there. But this is on June 4th, 2010, Kyron was taken to Skyline Elementary School by his stepmother, Terry Horman, who then stayed with him while he attended a science fair. So obviously he was there because he attended the science fair. Terry Horman stated that she left the school at around 8:45 a.m. That just doesn't make any sense. When is the science fair? Is it like 8 o'clock? And Terry Horman stated she left the school at around 8:45 and that she last remembered seeing Kyron walking down the hall to his class. So he went to the science fair and then he went to his class. That's what I want to know. And how did anybody know that he was actually walking down the hall to his class? Because maybe, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Go, searching or wandering around. He's just a very timid, sweet boy.
Okay. All right, let me know. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Jason Gates. I'm a captain with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, and I'm the incident commander.
In addition to the teams in the sky and on the ground, we're told about 50 detectives are also working the case.
The focus, the area around the school.
We're moving forward under the premise that we're looking for a living Kyron Horman.
On this rainy Sunday, police interviewed parents and children at Skyline School.
They're just trying to talk the kids through and just see if they can pick up any grains of information that they can to help, just to help.
The search turned into a massive community effort. From homemade signs to food donations, those who couldn't search did what they could to help.
Then on Friday, 1 week after Kyron's disappearance, his family speaks publicly for the first time.
Kyron, we miss you, we love you, and we need you home right now.
Search crews made their strongest push yet, with hundreds of volunteers from around the state joining the search for Kyron Horman.
We need a clue. We need that aha.
This is the kind of terrain searchers are having to comb through: tall grasses, dense vegetation, and steep slopes. It makes for a slow and tedious process.
The pressure to turn up something in.
See, that's the question I'm asking. The science fair drunk Marv guy. That's fucking classic. Oh, winos. I think he went to class, and either the science fair happened in the middle of the day or after school. Nobody else can verify what Terry said about him going to the classroom. See, that's what I'm asking. I don't know if does anybody ever remember there being a science fair before 8:45 in the morning? Because that's what it says. Dave dropped him off at Skyline Elementary School early for a science fair, so it was early in the morning. And he was seen by others, including Gina Zimmerman Sky, who saw him with his stepmother. She's the PTA president. Okay, so they saw it was that early in the morning. She didn't park in the parking lot. She parked way off to the side where no one could see her truck. How convenient. The stepmom says she cited Kyron at 8:45 a.m. That's what I mean. The science fair was before that. I don't think I've ever heard of a science fair being held before 8:45 a.m. in the morning. But it's possible. I mean, anything's possible.
Intense, as so far each day has ended with little to report.
This is a strange entrance here to this school, just saying.
It's always frustrating, when we're not finding anything, especially when we have such high hopes.
Investigators suspended the search and rescue. It's become clear Kyron is not simply lost.
Would he just go on a hike at the end of the year? That doesn't seem like something he would do.
Detectives announced this has become a criminal investigation. And the focus?
Where is she and why is she not speaking?
We wanted to speak out as the natural parents for Kyron.
Behind the scenes, we'd later learn suspicions were mounting. His family had come apart.
Terry was on a whole nother playing field than we were. It was 3 against 1, and
that's a good point. Maybe the kids came early to set up their exhibits with their parents. Yes, the PTA lady seen him in front of the exhibit at 8:15. But did she see him go walking? I mean, obviously something happened before 8:45, and whenever this science exhibit yeah, it's possible that they went early to do that, and then they went to the classroom. What I'm saying is something happened between, I'd say, 8 and 8:45.
She was not looking out for Kyron. She was not interested in helping in any way.
See, I'm kind of bipartial to what the actual mom says, because apparently the mom doesn't like the stepmom at all. I'd like to see some, and it's hard because it's, nobody gets any information but the cops. So all I know is that something must have happened to this guy between 8 o'clock, whenever the science fair, he showed up to school, and when he went down the hall to the classroom. So
weeks after Kyron,
but if people saw him there, then it's not the stepmom.
Disappeared, police are handing out a questionnaire to parents and students at Skyline School,
asking people if they'd seen the stepmom or the family's white truck in the area the day the boy disappeared.
Investigators say they've talked with the majority of parents and staffers, but there's still people they want to interview.
Then,
hello, I'm Tracy Barrett.
And I'm Joe Don. The unexpected.
Kyron Horman investigation takes another turn. Now a reliable source tells News Channel 8 officers were prepared to arrest stepmom Terry Horman for hiring a hitman to kill her husband.
Kane Horman filed for divorce, sought a restraining order against Terry Horman, and accused her of trying to hire a hitman to murder him.
And it was based on a lot of information that was provided, so it wasn't a sudden, say, reactionary type of decision that was made.
At that same news conference, Kyron's dad revealed another behind-the-scenes.
So that's the dad, right? And that's the mom.
Bombshell about Terry.
I think everyone knows the fact that she's taken her two polygraphs. She has not passed those 2 polygraphs.
Terry Horman hired a defense lawyer and moved to her parents' home in Roseburg.
Now again, Terry Horman has not been named a person of interest or a suspect in this case.
Terry Horman has never spoken to the media, but in court documents calls Kane's allegations vicious and calculated to inflame and poison public opinion against her.
Court papers from the divorce revealed Terry Horman had been sexting with another man after Kyron disappeared.
She's got some guts. I'll give her that. Now's not a good time to be doing stuff like that, but I guess I don't expect anything less.
Edie, are you cooperating with investigators? By late summer, a grand jury started hearing sworn testimony from Terry Horman's friends. No charges were filed. Is she bound to testify, or could she?
So they had a grand jury convene. No, Terry said she's seen him at 8:45 in the hall. No one else did. That's what I'm asking. The dad quickly divorced Terry and has custody of their daughter. Yeah, it's so weird.
Say no.
She was subpoenaed. I look at people's actions, and the actions I see don't
So this is the dad, and this is the mom. Is that what's going on here?
reinforce the fact that they're completely innocent, and whether it's related to Kyron or not, something's being hidden.
2 years after the boy's disappearance, Kyron's biological mother filed a civil lawsuit against Terry Horman, later dropped.
The time has come for Terry to take responsibility for what she has done and to tell me and my family where Kyron is and how he got there.
Terry Horman tried to change her name and appeared on the witness stand before a judge denied the request.
Kyron Horman is missing.
Is the president of the PTA a guy or a girl? Does anybody know that? I don't know why I'm asking that. A woman said the woman she had a relationship with is also a suspect of helping Terry hide Kyron. That woman can't be accounted for at work during that time. Okay. So that's where that picture came from. Okay, so that picture was him. Oh, that's right. Don't forget to remind me about the show business case. I want to play that really quick too.
Needs to be found. I love my son. I want him home more.
It's possible, like, right, if I'm just saying it's possible that if she was having an affair with another guy, that other guy maybe right, the stepmom was having an affair with another guy or sexting another guy or something like that.
Than anything.
Terry, what's your reaction to the judge denying this name change?
Hi, Kyle. No, thank you.
Horman, who now lives in California, has maintained her innocence, appearing on national TV and magazines.
She talks about Kyron's disappearance and also what she calls a bogus murder-for-hire plot to
Okay.
kill her husband.
I don't believe she'll ever be truly.
So it's a girl. Okay, thank you.
Be honest about what happened. I think even when we find Kyron, she will not reveal what happened that day.
But the search.
Do you think it's possible that they kidnapped this kid? Terry took a long drive. Yes, that's I heard that to soothe one of her daughter had an ear infection or something like that. Terry took a long drive, she says, to soothe her daughter to sleep, then stopped at a gym with sick daughter and talked to people, but didn't work out. 6 times just now.
For him is still going strong.
Today, another under the radar search today.
So this is the school. This is a really weird. I hate how they get this, like there's no open area in here to see anything.
For Kyron Horman,
police searched the woods, the water, and multiple properties over the years, but haven't found anything.
Comment. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said, quote, the investigation is continuing, end quote.
They've also released age-progressed photos of what Kyron would look like now as a teenager.
Kyron is a sweet little boy that just wanted to live his life and to go camping and fishing and be a kid, and he got that taken from him.
Is that real right there? Do you think that's real?
Be a kid, and he got that taken from him.
Is that real? Yeah, I know, but is that when it comes to girls, I can't really tell whether they're actually crying or actually not crying. I'm not good like that. So
Be a kid, and he got that taken from him.
that looks a little phony to me. Is that just me? I'm not insinuating anything. It just looks a little phony to me.
I've been covering this case for 15 years, and people always ask, what do you think? Did he maybe wander away from school and just got lost?
No.
Hard to imagine. People search this area really well. Maybe he was abducted by a stranger. Again, unlikely. It was a busy day at school that day. There likely would have been a struggle, or someone would have seen that. How about somebody he trusted, though, that he knew? That seems to make sense. Police have never said, though. Most recently, they did issue a statement explaining investigators are working to digitize and reorganize the entire case.
I'm just a sucker for the crying shit, right? If a woman's crying, I'm probably just gonna do whatever I have to do to make sure she stops crying. It's just, I don't know. I wouldn't know if a girl was crying or fake crying. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to. So that's why, it seems to me like that was a little bit fishy to me, that crying right there. It's just me.
Including thousands of pages of reports, photos, and evidence. When the case is digitized.
Like when you cry, aren't tears supposed to come down? Or I rarely ever buy into the crying BS. I don't know. Maybe just I don't know. I don't think she had anything to do with it either, but I think the mom is a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? The mom is a little bit, I don't know. I don't know what the right word. Men are actually, lots of people get uncomfortable when people cry. Yeah, I just, you know, I just fall for it. You know, it's like I probably would never be able to know whether it was real or not because I would just fall for it. This is me. But I think the mom has some issues too. It's just I mean, I know her son's missing and stuff like that, but seems like she's convinced that the stepmom did it.
The file will be re-examined by a special unit at the FBI. And in the coming months, detectives will meet with the DA to evaluate the case. I've been told there are boxes and boxes of files in this case, and I've asked to see them, but told no.
Yeah.
Many other people have done the same thing. In fact, recently, I put in a public records request for all requests from the public to law enforcement seeking access to those records.
They're not going to give it to you.
2 stood out. One was from Terry Horman's adult son, James Moulton. He too wanted to look at the files, but was told no because it's an ongoing investigation. Another request was from a former prosecutor who's investigating the case. She put down a deposit of almost $10,000 for records the DA's office warned will be heavily redacted. Doubtful we'll get anything new from that. But through those requests, we did learn this. Over the past 15 years, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office has spent a total of $1.9 million on the investigation.
Wow.
Over the years, I've collected my own files, notes, emails, phone calls, that type of thing. But there is one item that I haven't shared, video of Terry Horman. In December of 2016, she was arrested in the San Francisco area for allegedly driving a stolen vehicle. The body cam video is kind of interesting.
One of the things I do need to do before I talk to you, since you're under arrest right now, is I'm going to read your rights. Okay, and then we can talk about this paperwork and see what we can do for you. Okay, you have the right to remain silent.
Okay, so this is the stepmother, right? Do we know if Travis Decker is still in the States? He probably not. I mean, he could be anywhere. Laugh now, cry later. Absolutely, yeah. It is possible to fake cry, though. I see it all the time in interviews and interrogations and stuff like that. And I think they actually, investigators and interrogators will actually give the person they're interrogating the tissues and stuff like that. Then they'll keep them to see if there's any actual tears in to prove that they were not crying. And some people are really good at it, and some people are just really bad.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand you have the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir. Well, talking to you, is this going to alleviate the situation? Because I
remember that.
I have the title.
Right. I'm going to show you what I have, and we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to try and help you.
Okay, because I desperately want to get this resolved, and this is not.
Then we're going to do that.
I don't understand why I'm under arrest, though, because I didn't steal anything.
Police in Belvedere, California didn't ask her about Kyron. They were focused on the vehicle.
If it wasn't for the Delphi case, that movie or that book, The Shack, would have never, ever been so popular, right?
That her ex-boyfriend had reported stolen. She claimed her name was on the registration, and the charges were later dropped.
So my question is, though, is once you realize that I'm telling the truth, then I can go?
I don't make that decision. What I will do is I'm going to try and help you the best I can to determine what are the true facts, and then we'll go from there one step at a time. I'm going to help you as much as I can.
Investigators in Oregon haven't been able to speak with Terry Horman because she has a lawyer. I've tried to talk with her over the years, even traveling to California, where she lives now, but she's refused. One of the toughest things about covering this story is knowing that there's a little boy out there. He's missing. I'm a parent, and I can't imagine, especially going so long.
See, in these cases right here, it's been, how long has this case been going on, right? obviously the cops have no clue to what they're doing, right? I mean, they don't know anything else that anybody else knows. So they need to give this, in my opinion, they need to give this case up to outside investigators to see if they can solve the case, because they're not doing a good job. It's just they're not. So I don't understand why it's so hush hush, and just we can have the information because it's an ongoing case. Well, fuck you. You're not doing a good job. Period.
Without having any answers. I think about that picture that we've all seen of Kyron standing in front of his science project. I spoke with his parents, Kane Horman and Desiree Young. 15 years. What does this milestone mean to you?
That's a tough one. It's probably split. So grateful that we...
That's the thing these days here with the advances in technology for solving things. I'm never going to get anywhere with what I'm saying, but after 15 years or so, these people should turn the case over to, who knows, somebody else. Let somebody else get a shack at it. A whack at it. The Shack was filmed in Canada, British Columbia. You know why? Because there's nobody there. Yeah, it's just
we have had the support that we have. We still have such a following and a support for Kyron that, all of that is such a good thing. 15 years, it's tough. I mean, I talked to you back in the beginning, and I never thought we would be at 15 years. I just really didn't think. It's just really hard. It doesn't matter that 15 years has passed, it's still hard.
You need a good try.
We talk about it all the time where it's just some days are rougher than others.
What keeps your hope alive after all these years?
Well, that there's no clear information that tells us one way or another, as far as whether he's still alive or not. To me, that definitely keeps me going. There's no definitive information that says that he isn't. And in my mind, we have to keep looking for him. We have to keep people's eyes and ears open when they're out and about. I think it's really important to.
Is the riot still going on, you think? 50% of American movies and TV shows are filmed in Canada. It could be because it's cheaper. I already rethinks. Oh, I think my dog's puking. All right, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that there. I wanted to play one more thing, but I don't think I'm gonna have time. So I'm gonna try to hold on a second here. If I can find something really that I wanted to. Oh, I wanted to do this one here. Okay. Did we do this one last week? I don't think we did this one. So let me share this here. Hold on one second. Let me stop this. I'm starting to rethink whether or not she had anything to do with it or not. All right, so I wanted to play this one last week. An Oregon man is facing charges for an Iowa unaliving that happened in 1983. After investigators said new forensic evidence led them to Michael Shepard. So let's. This was done 8 days ago, and I was supposed to play this week, but I don't think I did. So let's play this here, and then I'll get out of here.
Voluntarily?
Yes, I am.
Once I accept this waiver, you can't change your mind. You understand that? Okay, so you're going to be held here until Iowa comes to get you.
And the latest twist in a decades-old cold case. The man accused of committing a murder in Iowa back in 1983, Michael Shepard, waived his extradition on Friday morning and is now waiting for the Lynn County Sheriff to come and pick him up. Fox 12 Spencer Schott is following this story. Spencer, you got the chance to sit down with the suspect's ex-wife today. So how did she react to his arrest?
Well, Lisa Fledgel said she was caught off guard when Iowa investigators interviewed her a year ago in her home in Boise, Idaho. She tells me she met and married Shapert back in the 90s, and she says he never really talked about his life before they met.
He was a good man. He was a good dad. He was a good husband. He was a good provider.
Fledgel and Shapert were married for 10
I mean, how many times have we heard this before?
years and had 2 daughters together. While they have since divorced, they stayed in contact. One daughter living with Fledgel in Boise, the other lived with Shapert in Fairview, Oregon. But Fledgel never expected her ex-husband would be arrested on murder charges.
We knew a different man. He's not that man. I can't wrap my head around, honestly, the fact that he's being charged with murder.
The Lynn County Sheriff in Iowa, Brian Gardner, says they have connected Shapert to a murder committed back in
Oh yeah, that's right. Ship business. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll play that one next because I want to. That's something that I need to laugh about. I mean, she's classic. Hold on a second.
1983, 24-year-old Ron Novak was found dead in his home, tied up, beaten, and shot in the chest. More than 40 years later, the sheriff says Shapert's DNA was found on a hammer and on Novak's clothing. They used genetic genealogy, which combines DNA profiling with traditional ancestral research, which officials say shows Shapert was at least one of the people allegedly responsible for Novak's death.
It kind of feels unreal after all this time. You start to give up hope that maybe there'll be an answer.
While Novak's family is relieved a suspect is finally in custody, Shapert's family is having mixed reactions to his arrest.
And really, it didn't hit me until he got arrested this week. When he got arrested, then it hit me. Now, honestly, I hate to say this, I really do, because I still love the man. I always will. He was my first love. But I personally, I think he's guilty.
Not only because Shapert waived his extradition, but Fledgel says he also made some concerning comments to his daughters after being questioned by police.
He had spoken to the detectives, about how he might be going away and after Christmas and he might not see them again, like my kids. That kind of tells me something.
As Shapert awaits extradition, Fledgel and the Novak family wait for answers.
My heart goes out to Ron Novak's family. And I know they want answers. And I really hope, but I have doubts. I really hope that Michael does open up and tell the story from his perspective, because they deserve answers. They do.
As the Lynn County Sheriff comes to pick up Shapert, they say he's not the only suspect in this case, and they'll continue to investigate the cold case. Reporting live in studio.
All right, so there might be more people involved in this than just this guy. All right, so here's the much anticipated Taylorship business fucking shit. So let's play this because we all need a good laugh. This woman here is just never going to go away. It's just not going to happen. So we're going to play this from the beginning because this woman is just too crazy. Okay. This is fucking classic. I got to play it from the beginning again. Ready? Just make sure I'm sharing this. Check that. Okay, good. All right, watch this. This is, you can't make this stuff up, man. This is too funny. They got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's count all the cops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This little chick right here, and they need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you.
I haven't seen you in a minute. Yeah. How you doing?
Clarice.
I'm good. I'm all straight.
Feel better?
Yeah.
You're a damn straight jacket. I'm just saying this one tiny chick, right, is got all of this security just for this, like, let's find out what she was. Okay, blows a kiss ahead of a hearing. Convicted unaliver Taylor Shabusiness blew a kiss to the pool camera. She was wheeled into the courtroom while shackled Tuesday for a hearing in her battery case. Okay, so this is for her battery. Gotcha. Okay. Apparently they have
court will
mic.
call 24 CF 1048 State of Wisconsin versus Taylor Shabusiness appearances.
Attorney Catherine Block on behalf of the state, appearing for District Attorney Eric Toney.
Your Honor, good morning. Attorney Christopher T. Freilich appearing with the defendant Taylor D. Shabusiness. She's here today.
All right, this matter is set for plea and sentence. Mr. Freilich, what's the status?
Your Honor, thank you. Good morning. I can tell the court that I've talked to my client on the telephone. We've reviewed some discovery materials in this case. The case is not resolved. We'd ask that the matter be calendared for a jury trial in this case.
All right, do you think 2 or 3 days?
Yes.
For sure 2, probably 3, just to play it safe.
All right. Ms. Block.
Look at her face, like just. I shouldn't be laughing. This isn't funny.
Locker Wing Compliance Victims' Rights.
We are.
Any thoughts? 2 or 3 days?
I think 3 to be safe.
I agree.
I have some September dates, some October dates.
I'd ask for maybe an October date if that's okay.
I have October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
I already have.
Oh, that's fucking class. Can you please stand up and raise your right hand? No, I'm in the dolly.
Some trials those 2 days, Your Honor, but I'm open after that.
What about 13th, 14th, and 15th?
I've got another homicide trial on the 14th. Could it be the week before, October 6th?
Just saying.
Okay. I'm wide open that whole week.
They have to have a whole court procession for this. Can't they just call on the phone and say, "Look, when is the best time?" You know, they have to bring. This is so weird.
I could do the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Could you do that?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Ms. Block, that works for the state.
I'm checking with DA Toney, but he'll have to.
I'm telling you, right? That's what I mean. They have 8 cops in there to try to, deal with this one chick. And, some of the biggest guys I've seen in court have 1 or 2 guys, right? Remember the guy that was leaping over the judge's bench? They had like 2 guys in there. This is too funny. All rise for the judge except. Pull a Nellie Olson on her, yeah. They had literally a whole bunch of guys on her when she smacked the attorney. That was funny.
Ask for a reschedule if he doesn't get back to me quickly.
I don't think this guy wants anything to do with her. Trust me.
All right. The state's witness list and any motion that needs to be heard prior to trial will be due on September 10th. The defense witness list and motions eliminated will be due on September 24th. And a list of
I think we all know what that means now. Motion eliminate, right? It's
proposed jury instructions will be due on October 1st. Mr. Freilich, do you want anything scheduled between now and then?
Not at this time, Your Honor. If I need to, could I just contact the court?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
So, one other thing I want to.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
Attorney Toney did just get back to me. He has an intentional homicide October 8th through the 10th.
Have a good night, Paul. I'm getting out of here soon too. Yeah, it's just a court theater shit, right? This is Paulie, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for keeping up with me, making sure I do the lives. Paula's awesome. Great person. Thank you so much, Paula. Have a great week. Stay safe. This is a weird outfit here. I don't know if she knows. I don't think this is appropriate. Does this look appropriate to you for a court? I don't know.
What does the 27th through the 31st look like for you, Mr. Freilich?
27th, 31st of October.
Yes. 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. I have all week, so we can find 3 days in there.
Sure. I'm open. I just have a final divorce hearing on October 30th at 1:30.
Okay.
But otherwise, if we could start in the beginning of the week, that'd
Sure.
work out great.
Block.
Yes.
That works.
Okay. All right.
He has a Len bias the week later, so he'd prefer earlier in the week.
Sure. We'll schedule it for October 27th, 28th, and 29th.
I mean, it's nice and flat. Maybe it's nice weather out there. Where is this? This is in Colorado, right? This is I don't know where this is. Colorado, I think, right? But I don't know. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Anyways, we've seen this. I wanted to play that because I thought it was funny. Hopefully we get rid of her soon too. She's just annoying. He must have drawn that short straw to be her lawyer. Yeah, she probably can't get anybody else. She keeps kicking the shit out of both of them. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys are awesome. Let me stop sharing that. Shibby, thanks, man. You're awesome. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being here always. You news Addy, thank you guys for coming in. Tracy Fleetwood, you're awesome. You had a mouthful of coffee. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Tracy Fleetwood, thank you for coming in. Dirty Diana, thank you so much. You're awesome. It's always good to have you guys in here. Watch the riots. It's getting good. Mustang 65, thank you so much for coming in. You're awesome. Let's see who else is in here. I know Honeybee was in here. I know Karen was in here. Karen Lee was in here. Jocelyn's was in here. Jocelyn's awesome. Thank you, Jocelyn, for coming in. Thank you for helping out with the cases and stuff like that. Who else was in here? Heather Brown, we love you. Heather Brown, you're just try to have a good week. We're here for you. You're an amazing person. And make sure you keep in touch with us so we know how you're doing. But just try to keep your chin up there. We love you for sure. I know Miss K was in here. Thank you, Miss K, for coming in. You're amazing. Well, I'm gonna miss a whole bunch of people. Sorry about that. I know that JC Ann was in here. I know that Barbara Hall was in here. Barbara Hall's amazing. Gonna try to find some answers for her too here. Let me see. Carol was in here. I know Carol was in here. Thank you, Carol, for coming in. Carol's awesome. I hope Mino Dino's all right. I know Charles was in here. Thanks, Charles. You're awesome. Charlie Manson was in here too, but I think they're both the same people. Paula Fitzhenry was in here. Thank you, Paula. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody. Thank you, everybody, for the replay. Everybody who's on the replay. I know a lot of people. I come on at a really strange time at night. Oh, I wanted to do some on the tropics today. I'm gonna have to wait now because I got to get out of here. But I'm gonna try to start getting back into that here pretty soon too. Tropic season started last week, so Honeybee was in here. Did I say that? But I'm gonna definitely forget some people, so I apologize. Nicole was in here. Thank you, Nicole, for coming in. Thank you to all the new people who've been here coming in. Thank you for all the subscribers. I really appreciate it. Make sure everybody checks out all these great channels that are in here too. There's a lot of good people who are great. They do great work for sure. But that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I'm going to forget some people. I haven't seen Charlotte around either. I hope she's okay. All right, everybody, I'm going to play my outro and get out of here. You take care of yourselves. Make sure you don't die, right? That's what we don't want. And I will see you all later. Let me get rid of this. Hold on a second here. Get rid of that. All right, let me play my outro and I'll get out of here. You guys are all awesome. Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it. Almost done. All right. See you guys later. Take care. Have a great week.